Well, first of all, I want to say, by no means is Shaka Utmost a homosexual. If he was, he wouldn't be with me. I wouldn't be with my brother.
The views go 5, 6, 7, 8,000 views, right? Because we know when the Hebrews are at the scene, people want to know what they're talking about, right? That's right. So I said, you know what? Let me use this media to promote this event that we're doing tonight. So in the last minute, when I went to Saneter's house, he said, hey, we're going to Shaka's house, right? So I said, you know what? And something told me, the Holy Spirit told me, I should maybe go up there. But I'm glad I did. I want to tell you why. When I went up there, I was on the phone. I was speaking to one of the brothers, either my deacon elder right here from Chicago, Illinois. I think it's one of the brothers. And we were rapping while I was walking upstairs to Shaka's house. And when we was talking, Saneter, and this is the Most High is my witness. So when I was coming up the stairs, Saneter, God is my witness, he said, yo, when you go upstairs to Shaka's apartment, you might see a homo come out the room. The Most High is my witness. That day, check this out, that day, I called Saneter. I said, yo, Saneter, straight up, Saneter. Yo, what you told me on when we was coming out? Yo, I gotta go. I gotta talk to you later. I've been calling him. I called Shaka. Left the message. Hey, yo, Shaka, Saneter told me that you are homosexual. What's up with that? Call me back, yo. We gotta talk about this. I haven't heard nothing from that brother yet. So I spoke to other brothers from the conscious community. Hey, brother, is it true? What's going on? Because I took Shaka as he's being eccentric. You know, he's a brother who's different. All right, you know. I just took him, and I'm not trying to play any games. This is serious business. Because if a brother act and dress like Shaka within the Hebrew community, will he be allowed to be a fellowship among us? Exactly. So in the conscious community, they talk about black power and say there's a homosexual in our concept. We have to rule out homosexuality. There's an invasion of homosexuality. But there's a brother who dresses, acts like very peculiar, correct? So when I was speaking to Everett Ginny and said, you brother, you're right, we should talk to this brother. And ask him, dude, where's your wife? You claim you have a wife. The sister's been in Africa for almost 2 years. Since the man I met, the day I met him, his wife has been in Africa. Another Kenite brother told me, I thought she was in South America.
And we'll be bringing all that information out. So we ain't really let it die, Si. You know what I mean? We still out here pushing it. We will continue to push it regardless of what the naysayers say. Like that homo that said that I can't speak about this situation with Africa Bambaataa. What mind boggles me about what the brother said was that he's on tape saying, if you want to be a homosexual, then be one. I saw him on the tape. This was Shaka. It was Shaka, Polight, Reggie, Saneter. Shaka, Polight, Reggie, and Saneter was on the camera. And when they was on the camera, they said to the brother, they was talking about homosexuality, and he said, if you want to be a homosexual, then be one. That's what he said. That's why he wasn't out here with the Africa Bambaataa, because he would be a walking contradiction. And I want to big up Ali Muhammad, because when Shaka was explaining it, he's calling me African, because he feels that I'm African. Now, I call y'all Hebrew Israelites, because I feel y'all are Israelites. So the whole time he telling me I ain't got a right to speak, I want to big up Ali Muhammad, because he said that one of the smartest things on that evening, he said, well, you know, TAZARYACH sees y'all as Israelites. That's why he feel he can talk and address it. And bigger than all of that, when something goes down, especially if we're in Harlem, and you're supposed to call yourself a vanguard for Harlem, or a vanguard for the work that goes on with the people, everybody should have been here that day. It shouldn't have just been me, Irritated Genie, Saneter, Sankofa, Doggy Diamonds, Savage, Poppy. All of you cats that claim you about black people, that do your lectures, that do your debates, that do your businesses, that want support from black people. When there's a black issue that hits, you're supposed to be on the forefront so that the people can see that you stand for something, instead of just taking advantage of the people. So this will be a powerful lecture. It'll be a powerful event. We're going to go into the histories of different civilizations and how they fell because of homosexuality, to show you that America is just like them. Like the white man has been proliferating this agenda since he's pretty much been in existence. So we're going to show that aspect. We're going to show how these churches, we're going to show how Bambaataa, we're going to talk about the York connection, because York and Bambaataa go hand in hand. York, when York was in prison, it was Bambaataa that was right in front of Tamaray with little kids at that. But not little kids, teenage boys saying that York didn't do it. Bambaataa also used to make a lot of York clothing. He used to be a Nubian. So it's funny how the same way York is in prison for it, now we finding out Bambaataa is doing it. So that makes you wonder, was Bambaataa a York victim? And then just carried on the same thing that York did. So we're going to talk about all of that, and it's going to be controversial only because child molestation is something that they hide. If we didn't hide, like we don't hide drug dealing, we openly speak against, ISUBK openly speaks against drug dealers, and everybody can understand that. When it comes to child molestation, it's like we want to hide it from the people. It's like, don't nobody want to expose their uncle for being a child molester.
Well, first of all, I want to say, by no means is Shaka Upmost a homosexual. If he was, he wouldn't be with me. I wouldn't be with my brother.
Because we don't tolerate that madness. So when I was coming up the stairs, Saneter, guys, my witness, he said, yo, when you go upstairs to Shaka's apartment, you might see a homo come out the room. The Mosthigh is my witness. That day, check this out. That day, I called Saneter. I said, yo, Saneter, straight up, Saneter.
Fucking child molester. Your father is a child molester, period. And he got in his feelings.
Right. Listen, Brother Dawa, once Dawa come out and say, yeah, I support this gay bar right here, Brother Dawa is cut the fuck off. I know if Saneter comes out and I support child molesters and gays, man, niggas gonna fucking boycott me. Right or wrong, Dawa?
Because we don't tolerate that madness. So when I was coming up the stairs, Saneter, guys, my witness, he said, yo, when you go upstairs to Shaka's apartment, you might see a homo come out the room.
The master teacher, Reverend Dr. Malachi Kobina York, gave me the name, as well as name my family, name my daughter since birth. He's my spiritual master and guide. He's my father. You understand? He's my God. He's my deity, however y'all want to call it. He's the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing today.
Once a motherfucker say raping my daughter, I got a 15-year-old daughter, Dawa. You know, raping my daughter is revolutionary. That nigga got to go.
You rev dudes up on some, you know, on some wrestling shit or whatever, then turn the camera on and then chop it up as you do. This or being responsible men and women, right? What was you doing around that time? You was a drug addict. You was poisoning the community. Around the time you talking about Bambaataa doing this and that, you was a drug addict poisoning the community. What are you talking about? You was a drug addict around that time. Westside Dust Head or Filthy Frank from the West Side or whatever, you know, your street name was or whatever the case is. Remember that? Remember that? It's not a lie. It's not something I'm making up. You was a drug addict and poisoning the community. So who are you to talk about somebody's past when yours has messed your brain up so much, messed your brain up so much that you don't even know the problem that you have caused with me? And I'm telling you, fam, you causing a problem with me. And maybe it's because you have a problem. You missing chunks of your brain. You understand? It's eating up from the drugs. This is not a lie. This is scientifically proven that certain drugs destroy certain parts of the brain. So sometimes it feels like you could be an agent, but I realize he's a drug addict, a former drug addict. You got what I don't know what you're doing now, you know, and I'm not into that. You know, whatever the case is. But I realize you don't even know you an agent of chaos because half of the things you're doing them, and then you just blink somewhere, you just blick somewhere. And that last video you posted was proof of that.
And then he called a maggot, a demon, an agent. I'm like, yo, how was she was just the queen the other week? Yeah, a lion whore. And everyone calling you to tell you stop. You see how that work? No one's telling them brothers, come on, be more mature. If they wanted to any form of reconciliation, no matter how contentious it may be, they'll try to be more responsible and mature in their demeanor.
No. Just go to the page. Click home.
Okay. So who? Who's that? Who's that?
Oh, that's the other girl with the book.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. All those look like they have the
Ghosts. Oh, no, yeah. Maybe you try to be one. Wait, your joint is working over there? Oh, there we go. That's how that phone works. You had to reload it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so our joint is called I'll Talk Video. Well, go ahead, do what you gotta do so we can post this. Let's see. Yeah, so we're just gonna run a few tests. We haven't been on Blog Talk in quite some time as far as being a facilitator. Yeah, so we're just gonna run a few tests. We haven't been on Blog Talk quite some time as far as just making sure. So yeah, I want you to call in and just leave your phone there so we know people can hear it. So we get ready to go. About to get started right now, family. Give us 2 more minutes. The show was set to commence at 10 o'clock. It's now 10:08. We just want to let some of the rest of the audience come through because we had to change the venue on short notice, and we still made it out fairly good. So we want the family to get in the building. All right, so, light up them chat rooms, do your thing. Welcome back to New Covenant Radio. We have a special thriller for you tonight. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. So just give us a few more minutes. 2 more minutes. We at the 10:09 mark. Let's make this commence at 10:12. And we promise you nothing but activity. It's going to be more positive than the Hebrew brothers. They try to do a filibuster and do a show 1 hour earlier and start copying their plea ahead of time. But I can assure you, our show won't be as vulgar and as loud as their show because I checked into it and it sounded like it was filled with cuss words. I know the title is something like General Yohana interviews TAZARYACH about the whore or something like that. That's wow. So the numbers working for you? All right. Numbers not working. What's the number again? Okay. Looking good. The numbers working too. Okay, sister, you're on still too, right?
Am I what?
Just making sure that you're on.
Yeah, I'm on.
Okay. Letting the family roll in, because they rolling in by the numbers. All right. Good to be in the building. We here, New Covenant Radio. And today, tonight, this evening, wherever you may be on the planet Earth, the name of the game is The Hebrew Woman Must Speak. And we're here to have this conversation because we don't want to continue playing the God games. And by the God games, we mean when people try to be vindicated in their wrong actions by sugarcoating their negativity in the name of God. With that said, line with us today, and I want her to introduce herself. So, sister, you can introduce yourself.
Peace. This is Amana Yahawada.
Okay. And, of course, her husband.
The wife of TAZARYACH Yahawada of ISUPK.
That's correct. Now, before we get into anything, particulars, what we want to do is ask you first and foremost, why is it necessary to come on the radio show and discuss these matters that you're about to bring it up? Is this for family purpose? Is this for woman empowerment? Is this angry black woman syndrome, and you just want to embarrass this black man and take him down? Why do you feel this radio show is necessary? Why do you feel it suffice to even do this kind of interview in the first place?
Well, as anybody who has known about this situation for over a year and 6 months about, since I've been married to my husband, everyone that was close to me knew of this, even some outside Hebrews that I had contacted in times where I needed help, when I did not get proper help, seeking it through the proper channels. The help that I was always given was to just be subservient and just go back to him and say, "You're my Lord, I'm sorry, I was wrong, I'm bad, I don't ever want to offend you," and these types of things. So I waited for a long time. This started over a year ago, very fairly into the relationship, it started. So I waited a whole year. I seeked out different channels. I seeked out, different solutions. I loved him. I love my husband. I still do. I can't deny that. I tried over and over again. This is not angry. I mean, I'm not losing anything, so I'm not angry. He never had control over my home, or as far as, can make me homeless, or my money, my finances, or anything. So I'm fine as far as that. So this is not that I'm angry with anything. I'm not jealous of anyone that knows me and has ever seen me. I have very high self-esteem. I'm confident, smart. Whore would be, as I've seen this flyer they put up, would be a very far stretch, because I'm the only one out of all the 5 wives that actually waited at least 5 to 6 months before I even consummated and saw TAZARYACH. And I made sure I did, because I was in the classes, which is supposed to be the law there. So all of his other wives have pretty much broken that, law that he's with. As I know, it's up to 5 now. He's pursuing a couple others that we know about as well, but that's neither here nor there. But I'm the only one that has waited out. So to call me out as a whore is a very far stretch.
Well, one thing that I've realized is that when all else fails and you're a Hebrew, I see that these Hebrew men, they're very limited in vocabulary. They're not as articulate, especially when they're angry. So primarily, what they normally revert to doing when they're angry is scream the word whore. It may be followed with a nigger and accompanied by a bitch. And then they just kind of rotate them. So nigger, whore, bitch, bitch, whore, nigger, 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 whore, whore, bitch, bitch, bitch. So I realized, and that also is accompanied with yelling and screaming. So I took the time out to listen to see what they would say in their impromptu radio show, only to hear a bunch of yelling, screaming, mother effers, whores, and other derogatory terms, other forms of vulgarity and profanity, which I perfectly understand. Because outside of that context, they really have nothing. All we have is the guilty parties trying to clean up and cover up. And what they don't have, what the viewership here needs to know, you can't play these games with Brother Polight. And the reason why I'm saying that is this. I would never stick my neck out like this for the sister. Not just because we've been building back and forth. I still would need something to codify the means to which end I would believe in her or confide in her. And I'm going to tell you, for those who doubt, as I kept telling these brothers from the very beginning, don't call my bluff. I have video and audio recordings of that black man beating his wife. I said, hold off on it, man. Leave me alone. Stop trying to disrespect my wives. Leave them alone. Clean up your house. Clean up your family business. I'll turn my head. Just clean it up. We mind our business. But this man still insists on espousing himself to women knowing he can't afford to himself. Now you may say these are some harsh words, but remember, I'm not going to stick my neck out without the actual facts. So yes, we will be at liberty to play some of these things to show, or maybe we'll let them put their foot or their feet in their mouths tonight, make them do their disclaimers of how angelic this brother is and how wrong this sister is. And when it picks up enough momentum and enough people hear their lies, then maybe we come right behind it again. And we let them hear yet another woman abused, mistreated, and one he cannot afford, coming out his own mouth. He's going to have to bear witness to his own voice, not only violently aggressing his woman, but also admitting to the fact that he doesn't even have enough money to keep himself alive, whilst at the same time still pursuing other women to make them wives. Now, sister, I want to take this somewhere. It's the first line of questioning because we want to get it. We're going to go into this and we're going to go into this stuff in depth. But this is very, very important. We're going to start it off with a mild momentum and we're going to work our way on up. All right? So, let's see. There's a message. I got to pull up the message. So before we do that, let's go into the psyche. Because once we go into the rules and the regulations of the Hebrew Israelites, or at least in this case, ISUPK, people will understand that it becomes a societal imperative that we create outlets for the women that's inside of that community. It is a societal imperative that we create outlets for the women inside of that cult called the ISUPK. And you'll understand what I'm saying as we go forward. And those brothers are ignorant enough to admit to some of what we're going to dispose of today. So on the first list of things, my sister, you showed, you shared some information, you shared some data with me, I shared some data with you. However, there was text correspondence back and forth that you documented and also sent to me amongst you and TAZARYACH. And he was upset. I'm going to leave the other parties out because they're not on the phone. So we're just going to keep this with me. He was upset that you was giving me credit and my family or my wife's credit on Facebook, or you were showing some love. In the text, he's very disgruntled with you showing some kind of love or appreciation, and he even blamed you for why your relationship is failing, as though your support for myself and my family structure had something to do with it. Why do you suppose, because this is facts, because we got it recorded, so why do you suppose he kind of related one with the other? What do you think? Is it the lack of his ability to sustain himself as a man, let alone the lack of ability to sustain you as a woman? Why do you suppose that, or what is it? Is it insecurity? Is it jealousy? Is it anger? Is it rage? What is it that made him so angry, in your opinion, about you just appreciating something, our family dynamic online?
Okay, this was some months ago where I had actually posted a post, and I said, I'm very proud of people that uplift their families, that are building strong families, and I named Bashir and his wife. I named Nasi and his wife for their strong, the sisters having a strong sisterhood, and his whole family paradigm. I named you and your wives, and I also named, I It may have been Ali Muhammad or somebody else. It may have been one more person. And he sent me a text, basically, that I've shared with you, that, you know, you're bigging up Polight, and it was in caps.
All caps, yeah. He was strictly enforcing Brother Polight. Go ahead.
Yeah. Your name was definitely in all caps, and your wife was in all caps. Just, I guess, to, you know, be very jealous. He was very insecure, very insecure. He runs his wife's Facebooks, which I never allowed. There was at one point I did give him control of my Facebook. So, but with that, I had to stop that because there was putting one wife against the other with him going into the accounts and texting the other wives to make the boss jealous or the other one jealous, or, you know, this was going on. So I stopped that immediately, deleted the other wife. So with that being said, there was a lot of insecurity, and this is why he runs his wife's Facebooks. He wants to see everything, wants to know everything, you know, very, very strong. And there's nothing wrong with a husband knowing what his wife is doing. But like I said, you know, that behavior was ongoing. That behavior was, you know, out of the norm.
All right. Now, what I need to do just momentarily is to let the people who may not be up to speed on why this is going on, or what the intention of this is for, or what may have precipitated the events that led up to this very moment. At least on my end, as you also going to tell your story, I specifically asked over and over for TAZARYACH to leave my family out of his contentions. I asked this over and over. There's the time at the debate, and Brother Saneter came to me and said, Polight, don't get into that. You got all your brothers here. First of all, they're going to say you outnumber those brothers, and secondly, it's not good. Just let's see if we can patch it up. So I spoke to TAZARYACH at the event. He said, bro, that came out the wrong way. You had your wife up there this instance. I had a picture up here that instance, and I was saying something in this instance. That's not what I meant. I said, cool, we talk about it later. The event's over. I said, okay, bet. I just need you to drop an apology in the public, because people who hate me, they're going to use that, and they're going to take it out of context and say you were saying one thing that you didn't intend. And I actually understood what he meant, because I reviewed the tape, and I saw how it actually translated. So I said, you know what? It's all good. So inside that week, in the post-debate analysis, he put forth the effort to apologize on behalf of himself, to my family, and I. I said, cool. Here we go. We fast forward. And he said, from that day forward, yo, we never going to talk about each other's family. We get into something the other day. Okay, he get up and say, he says, yo, I was disrespecting your wives that day, and you ain't say this, that, and the other to me. I said, okay. I'm listening to him. I ain't apologizing 6 months until. I know that the video's still up on YouTube. It's less than a week. He apologized that same week. He didn't even make it to another weekend on the corner. He apologized that week. The video's up. From when the debate took place to when the sorry was said, it was like 3-4 days in between the two. So when I'm listening to him 6 months, I'm like, okay, it's all good. We're going to deal with that situation. Boom. Now what happens is, later on that day, I call my wife, and I say, I need you to come out here real quick. My wife comes out. I'm Annette, and I say, come here real quick. So I step to TAZARYACH, and I beg him. Saneter's around me. Inky's around me. This is not for the cameras. This is the same day. I said, bro, I want you to say that my wife is a whore right now. Just say it. Just say it once. He said, I didn't say that before. I said, I didn't say you said that before. I'm saying, say it right now. Talk crazy. Start celebrating like you was just celebrating. Do it now. The rest of the ISUPK members stayed in their place. They know this happened. They was out there that day. My wife certainly knows this happened, because I called her to come out to see if he would have the heart to talk that crazy shit with my wife right next to me. Now, sister, you also told me that he actually told you that I asked him to say these things, right or wrong?
Yes, he came home and told me everything. He called me after the event. He said he was carrying a mic stand. They were going back, and that you walked up on him and said, call my wife a whore now. And to which he then proceeded to say, I didn't call you a whore, and he apologized again. So, yeah, he did fill me in on what happened after all of that incident.
Okay, and that's interesting. I said, oh, so he said that because it don't sound like that online. Now, he also took a certain necessity to say, you know what? He even asked, can I just talk to your wife real quick? I said, cool. And he reinforced everything he said to my wife and I together. He talked to her and said, that is not what I was saying. That's not what I meant. That's not what went on. I wasn't celebrating. I wasn't bragging about disrespecting you and all that. This is what he told my wife now. So, Saneta's there and Inky's there. ISUPK standing there. So we good. The next day, my wife is looking on YouTube wondering if this is the same man. Because now it's 10-minute clip up, cross the line. Then they do a radio show. He's bragging about being disrespectful. Then another day, he's talking about my wives again on a radio show. And then I speak to him again. I'm coming back from the Bahamas. I say, bro, is this what we're going to really do? You want to keep? I said we could separate ourselves from each other so we don't never have to do this again because you keep talking about my wives. You don't even know them. Why? Why? You apologize to my wife. You apologize to me. Why are you going back on camera gloating like something different took place, like I didn't step to you like a man and called my wife and asked you to please say that shit again? Why are you doing this? It got cool on the phone, so I never hung up at first because it was getting kind of chippy. We spoke again on the phone. Everything's supposed to be dead. He said, yo, I'm done. I'm not going to talk about your wives. Here I go again. My fault. I'm sorry again. So that is on the phone. I'm like, cool. Here we go again. Now General Yohana comes out. Yo, your wives belong to Israel. This is a grown man saying that the women that I'm in a relationship with, the mothers of my children, belong to his community. And my money belongs to him too. So this is the next video. So at this time, I'm like, I see that this is a recurring thing. You guys are just going to, I keep asking y'all stop talking about my family. Deal with the knowledge. Talk about the death certificates of the African guy that create the organization. Deal with the knowledge. Talk about the 501c3s. Deal with the knowledge. I'm good. I'll fall back. Y'all go crazy. Y'all showed y'all G'd up, y'all gangster. Keep all of that. I'm good. I got 3 videos that's up saying I don't want no one to egg me on for this to become anything other than what it needs to be. I'm going to keep it on the information. Just leave my family out of it. So inside of 6 days, my wives are being mentioned in at least 4 videos, being disrespected. Each time I'm asking, leave my wives out of the conversation. Why are you guys insisting on talking about my wives? I know you don't know them. I know you never spoke to any of my wives. I know this. So I'm like, okay, no one is coming in saying, ISUPK, don't do this. Come on, TAZARYACH, don't do that. Come on, General Yohana, don't do this. Nobody is saying this. Nobody is saying, please, guys. Hold on real quick. Let me cut. Nobody is saying, please, ISUPK, stop mentioning that man's women, his wives, over and over again. No one is saying, I don't think you should be talking about his wives like that. Over and over again. No one is saying this. So now, I do this interview here with his wife. This is a lot more than name calling. It's like, okay, you want to keep with the name calling. Fine. Now, I'm getting all these phone calls. Yo, you don't want it to go too far. I think this is too much, brother. Yo, you got to be a leader. Yo, I'm like, hold on. Everyone was celebrating when they continuously was disrespecting my wives. Everyone is saying, yo, they punking you. They keep talking about your wives, man. Why you don't do something? Why you see? And I'm like, I'm not going to let y'all encourage me to do something to separate me from my family. Oh, you trying to front. You being a coward. That's because you ain't got the heart. You letting them talk about your wives. Why you ain't do that day? I mean, like, yo, I ain't even got the time to explain to these people. My wife right next to me right now. I would look like a fool if I said I went up to TAZARYACH with my wife and begged him to talk that crazy talk. She would have to look at me like, damn, my man is a liar and he's weird. Like, he's creating a story. So I kept all of that in my chamber like I'm good. But now I don't get it. Everyone's calling like this is the end of the world now because I'm on the phone with the sister who is TAZARYACH's wife. Like, I have done something horrible to that man. There's never been a day I went up to that camp that we didn't already agree that I would come to that camp. There hasn't been a day where I haven't already agreed what level of contention would we be on when I'm at that camp. I have never shown up uninvited or unexpected. I have never come to that camp. Anytime I'm involved with promotion, I never show up. unless it's part of a promotion because we was looking to do another debate. I've never showed up unexpectedly and just start trouble. It may supposed to look like it sometimes, but that is not the case. That is promotion. So with all of that said, now we go and we talk to this sister who has been crying out to the community, things are not right in my household. Things are severely wrong. The implication of what's transpiring in her household poses as not just a detriment to herself as a woman, but to the other women and the children. And she gets these dates 2 months later, 3 months later, to have a council meeting amongst the judge, jury, and executioners, the almighty Hebrew men. So, but today she's about to do an interview, and everybody and their moms can call her to try to resolve it. But where was all these people all those months that she's been trying to talk to people and ask them for help? Now, TAZARYACH can call. Now, General Yohana can call. Now, all the other captains can call. Now, the community of Hebrews want to call. Don't do it. Sister, we here. Look, you can do it another way. But the whole time, this sister has been complaining. She has even tried to beseech Nasi for help. Someone outside the auspice of ISUPK. And everywhere she goes, she's being told she's doing it the wrong way. She tried to do it inside the Hebrew community. She tried to do it under ISUPK's auspice. People are getting beat in the fucking household. There's no money in the household. He can't even afford to live himself. And he is getting promoted in a bum-ass community. He's being promoted. The only thing we see is new door knockers on. So he got a door knocker on his chest now. He got new regalia on. But while he's spending all that time on the sidewalk, risking his life, giving 10% of his check to this grown man, his family is lacking. His family is starving. That she is in dire need of emergency funds or immediate attention to remedy the circumstances in her household. Waiting 1 or 2 or 3 months may not suffice. So now she's a damn criminal. She's a whore and she's a devil because now she had to go even further outside the community so her voice could be heard, because when she tried to do it in the community, it was ignored and put off to the next month or two. And you can't say it's a lie because she got the recorded data. She got the text messaging back and forth. She even tried to get $40 from TAZARYACH. And when she couldn't get $40 from TAZARYACH, she went to the damn temple to see if they can give her $40 fucking dollars. And she was looked at in disdain. But that man can go out there and spend all that time on the streets and raise money for General Yohana. But she can't get $40 from her husband. She can't get $40 from a nation that's using her husband to raise money. But she's the whore now. She's a whore. And if we were to ask, what exactly did she do to whore herself? It would just be a word that they use when they're angry. Because they have nothing to legitimize their grievances against this black woman. She stayed there and humbled herself and tried. So now it becomes, oh, I get it. She's just out to destroy who? Who is TAZARYACH actually? With all due respect, he's not exactly leading a large community, and black people are advancing in civilization. He may have a good heart and great intentions when he's on those streets. But let's not turn this into TAZARYACH as the victim when he is taking on more responsibilities as far as relationships than he can afford. So we're going to demonize this black woman. And we're going to call her all sorts of names and say, man, how does a woman husband get over there because she had to? Now, how's she going to deal with that? Because that brother handles his own business in the household. It'd be best for her to talk to a man that's handling his business in his house. Her man ain't handling the business in the house. She's trying to get him right in line. If the leadership that her man is under is condoning this behavior, what is she supposed to do as a black woman? Just stay there in a sinking ship knowing she got children? As a black woman, knowing she has to take care of her children when her man ain't taking care of her, what is she supposed to do? Just stay there and wait till October? But they can be on the streets, damn near getting into fights with everybody and arguing, but they don't have the time to remedy their family issues. They could be on the streets trying to raise money to turn it over to this man that put them on the streets, but they ain't got no money to turn it over to this sister. It's only $40 fucking. All of you put up $1. This guy is only Captain TAZARYACH. Where do they do this at? Where they let a leader of a community appointed by another leader struggle to maintain his family. He is supposed to be driving the best fucking cars, not hating on me for driving the best cars.
He's supposed to be decked out. If anybody is being taken care of, it should be TAZARYACH, because that man is the leader on the streets. So he's the first person that's going to be attacked most times and less. He's the first one that has to put himself out there before everybody. So why the hell is he out there broke as shit? And you calling her a hoe? That makes TAZARYACH the hoe. That makes fucking General Johanna the pimp. She ain't no hoe. He's the one hoeing on the street for General Johanna. He's allowing General Johanna to manipulate him. Where does a black man get a new title and no new compensation? How you get a new name, but you keep the same old money? He get a promotion minus the money raise. So no, sister, you're not no hoe. You're not no hoe. It's just an angry word, because they angry. So they yelling, they cursing, they screaming. But the last thing you can be is a hoe, unless you're talking about a woman thinking in the better interest and needs of her family. She still came on and said, I ain't gonna lie to you, I love that man. That's keeping it real. So I gotta turn up. I gotta turn up. Because she needs the fucking support. And any real man out there would support her, and any real women out there would support her, because we all got children or want children one day, and we can't have our children living in no situation like that. Sister, I'm about to ask you another question. You with me?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so we have here, TAZARYACH Yahawada, wrote July 9th at 8:23 p.m. on Facebook. Every woman should get every bit of money she can and give it to her Lord, a.k.a. her husband. We'll say this again, because she's wrong. She's supposed to be the hoe out here, right? She's the hoe. So, let's see how this thing works, since they doing a show calling her the hoe. Every woman should get every bit of money she can and give it to her Lord, a.k.a. the husband. Now, here it is, we thinking the man's job is to provide, but he's saying the woman should get every bit of money she can. Put her on the streets. And you don't talk about me pulling my wife up and saying, isn't she beautiful? Wouldn't you want a beautiful woman like her? No, I'm making my wife to be a whore doing that. But he's saying every woman should get every bit of money they can get and give it to their Lord, their husband. What is your sentiment on this? Do you see this kind of behavior in the Islamic community? Have you been impacted by this kind of behavior? In other words, are you the victim of destitution and poverty by circumstances of the fact that the black man is there living off the women? Are they using women to get on welfare and get their welfare checks and use it, or whatever? Can you explain to us the mentality?
Okay, when I met him, of course, I have a sole proprietor small business that I claim every year, and I also, for my ex-husband, I'm well taken care of as far as that. He basically laid out what he wanted in a wife. I laid out what I expected from a husband. He informed me about, he had a child on the way. I know for a fact that this child, he was told the woman, the mother of the child, to say that the baby is not his on the paperwork to get welfare. I don't collect welfare. Say
that again, sister.
He actually told me that he told her to say that he's not the father so that she could get welfare for the pregnancy and the child that was being born. Now, the consensus for give all your money to your Lord, your husband, that's not what we discussed, and I assured him that that was not going to be a part of this arrangement. And I don't know how he does it with his other wives, but I assured him that that was not going to be here. He agreed. He never did try to take control of my money. However, he did have my credit card on his gym for over a year, a little over a year, up until about the last few payments where I cut it off, where he could not pay for his gym membership. There's also been, I signed him up for a Avis corporate reward, excuse me, so that he could travel, so that he can be able to travel and get a rental car whenever he needed to go. out of town or come here. So that I didn't mind doing, and also business plans. I wanted to set up some business plans as far as, he wanted to get, we talked about oil tables and things like that to do when he set up on the streets. And I led him to Medina because I'm very familiar with Medina from the past. Being at Ansar, we always used to order from Medina. So I tried to put him onto that. I would invest in. I told him I would invest, and trying to get him to be more self-sufficient, trying to get him to become his own boss, and things of that nature. And basically, the whole genre was built on, I'm just going to work this little job, and I take from my other wife that will give me money. I know there's one time there was a situation with an eviction, and
try to talk up a little bit more, sister, a little louder.
Okay, I know there was one situation with the second wife when there was an eviction, and she handed over her money to stop him and one of the other wives from getting evicted, the first wife. So this woman was only receiving a disability check from a special needs child that she had just had. So this was, basically what he was doing. I didn't agree with it. I spoke with the sister. He was upset about it, but I didn't care because I'm for women and children first, and I didn't believe that she should have handed over that special needs check to him when that baby is definitely in need. And she was in need. She didn't even have an apartment. So she was living in, very poor quarters, it was very rough. And she assured me that she wanted to get out and that she was going to put pressure on him to try and get out of where she was at. And she was going to tell him that the family members she was living with wants her out, so that to make it urgent so that he could at least try and come up with something to help her. The situation was very, very desolate. So these are the things that I noticed with the wives. I know that I've read texts. I did go through his phone. I was an angel. I'm not going to sit here and say I was an angel throughout this. I went through his phone, and I see where the first wife was, saying that you can give me a dime. You don't do anything. So this whole mentality is basically the women are taking care of him. He buys $200 garments for Passover, and the women look like vagabonds. He does not, care.
You said they're paying $200 for what?
Yeah, he paid $200 for his garment for this Passover, the cream one.
Those stuff that they be wearing?
Yeah.
The regalia?
Right. Yeah, he paid $200 for that. When I'm sure that could have went toward, as he says, his two daughters, and even my household, something. But about
the children, since you're on there,
mm-hmm.
This is very important. Okay. In this family dynamic, there's at least amongst two different women, yourself namely, and another sister, there's at least two children suffering from special needs, correct? Right. Or special needs children. And when I was reading the sentiment from a dialogue, a heated dialogue that you was having between him and the other wife, she intimated, and we'll post it, she intimated that, well, your child is retarded, and, euphemistically speaking, we know special needs, but I'm just quoting or paraphrasing, that your child's retarded, so basically, the child is not really relevant. So with these children that out of context retarded, but we know euphemistically speaking, special needs children, with two special needs children in the realm of this family dynamic, I want you to explain how ISUPK identifies with these special needs children. In other words, can children with special needs be allowed in the temple? Are they even embraced by the community, or are they shunned away?
Okay, the exchange took place on Facebook. I didn't know who she was. I wasn't familiar with her. I started getting called a skank, she must have known that we were shortly engaged and we're going to get married soon. And then she began to inbox me. I proceeded to argue back with her, which I'm not proud of that. We went back and forth, and I told her she was jealous because he was having a baby by the second wife, and that she was jealous, and she needed to get herself together. I sent you all those transcripts, so you have all of the proof that where she proceeded to say, I didn't know retards counted as a baby, because we knew that his child was going to be special needs. She proceeded to say, I know all about the sick little baby. And what I was told was that the children with special needs cannot be amongst the congregation because you don't want to be with them and breed more. So
say that again. Children with special needs were not allowed in the congregation. Say that whole part again, and say it loud. Say it clear enough so they can hear you.
That children with special needs were not allowed in the congregation, in congregated areas, because they don't want to breed more of those children with special needs. And I found that very disturbing because that was his own child and just born. And that's what he told me. Now, being that she's a baby, I am familiar that she went to the cookout just recently, but she's a baby. So I guess as she's getting older, he says nobody can breed with her so that she won't be allowed, You
said nobody could breed with her. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
A child with special needs, no one can breed with her, and they're also not allowed into the congregation. So,
right, correct.
How do you think that might affect the child when they become older?
Well, I don't think that she's aware. I don't think that the child's mother is even aware because, like I said, I've spoken to this second wife, and I don't want to talk down with my sister. I don't want to, but
no doubt.
She was a fully functioning adult herself. So I can honestly say I understand why he is able to keep her following along with everything that's going on, because she just on the level of, having it together, very, if I would say, had the mind almost of a child.
I understand. So, who else is not allowed into these congregations? Are the mothers at most times alienated? Even your own mother? Are they also telling people that their mothers are not allowed? Right now, we know the children, if they're suffering from special needs, we know they're not allowed into the congregation. Did they ever tell you anyone else, or did you ever learn that someone else is not allowed into their congregation? And if so, why?
Yes, my mother. Well, my mother would be considered Chinese because of her father and grandfather. According to the Hebrew Israelites, you are what your father is. So therefore, my mother is a heathen. So she wouldn't have been allowed amongst the congregation because she's Chinese.
So here you are telling you your mama can't come. She's not allowed into the congregation. And if you got a special needs child, then your special needs child is not part of the congregation. This is very peculiar. Nonetheless, I'm trying to find positive ways to address this insanity, but there's no real way to address this insanity, because a man is going to be told by another man in the name of God that his child is not allowed into a place where he comes to spiritually cultivate himself. And in turn, they're also going to tell that child's or his wife's mother that she's not allowed to the congregation. Meanwhile, you're the whore online all because you have to voice your opinion about their lack or their resentment for a special needs child, as if the child created that disposition. See, these things, we do have a lot of callers that's here. I appreciate. You are correct in your voice, because You know, I mean, he said this to TAZARYACH. TAZARYACH, you are courageous. And I'm like, for what? There's nothing courageous in not being able to take care of your children. Now, one of the audio recordings we have of TAZARYACH, it is very evident that he was not able to give his wife $10. Facts. It's on audio. We will not cheat the people. We will see to it. You hear the audio yourself, so you just don't think this is an angry black woman talking. Nothing but speculations and accusations and rumors and gossip. Because if there is validity to everything she is discussing, then who is the onus on change the situation? Should we still mock, ridicule, and condemn this black woman? Or do we now have to say, how does a man get promoted into leadership while ineffective as far as executing his task or fulfilling his obligations as a black man? $10 he couldn't give to his wife, and then later yelled and screamed and gave every other excuse in the world. Now, people don't always have it, but the problem was in the middle of the same conversation, and y'all don't hear this, in the middle of the same conversation now, we find that she's also angry because she's catching him talking to other people on Facebook. He never addresses who he's talking to, why he's talking to them, and if anyone's missing the point, if you hear a part of conversation where a woman says, I just only wanted $10, this, of course, is after the confrontation. This is after the violence. This is after the materials flying in the room, her screaming, her saying, you know, she threw the fan. He's like, yo, I ain't throw the fan. You in my face. No, I wasn't in your face. This is after the physical confrontation now, where things get thrown, where this woman's trying to defend herself. Call me on it, because we need to make sure for not lying about this, because he's selling this story like he don't get violent with his lives. He's selling this story. So let's just say this in the air, and let's just call my bluff or our bluff. There's several things we have to discuss now, layers, because he's a leader in the community. He's been promoted. For one, the man confessed he don't have $10. He's broke. He paid all his money for the rent. There's no problem or no shame in not having all the money you need. No shame. Just try to do better. Where the shame comes in is that he got caught trying to talk to other women and wouldn't even stand as a man and say, hey, I am talking to these women. No, what he says is shut the fuck up. Mind your business. Now, the question we have is, why the hell are you talking to other women and you ain't got $10 to give to your wife that you talking to right there? So she shouldn't be the one shutting the fuck up. He should be the one shutting the fuck up when it comes to talking to other women that he cannot afford to be in a relationship with. Now, the question for you, sister, is this. Secret wives. Because the essence of that whole conversation, that woman was angry. One, because she only asked for $10 and maybe out of his insecurity or his inability to give him more, he might have just been frustrated. And that can happen to anyone. But two, what concerned her most was that not only does he not have $10, but he's sneaking, talking to other women. So now the question is sneaking to get other wives part of the ISUPK Hebrew Israelite culture, or is that just TAZARYACH doing what he does? Where is this coming from? Is it interwoven? Is it accepted? Are they allowed to have secret wives? Let us know about this.
Yes, they are. They do not have to tell the wife anything, and that's why you heard him telling her. And that was his first wife, who I've known for some time it was very abusive, because he confided in me a lot of the abuse that goes on there. So with this wife, she's very much the one that also attacked me on Facebook. She's very much the one that is very jealous and goes around and harasses the other wives. So he hides them from her, and he has them set up to where, well, he finds the ones with the lowest self-esteem that now will go along with it, since I would not go along with it. He's taken on two more since he couldn't get me to go along with his plan, which was he basically wanted the wives to act like they weren't with him and to fool her until he can get away from her. This was supposedly the plan he got. He was supposed to have gotten counsel on this to keep fooling her. This is what he came to me and said. He had to fool his wife of 13 years. And so if we see him like he's happy in pictures or anything, just know that it's a game he's playing, and he has to fool her until he can get his other apartment with one of his other wives.
Wow. Okay. Very interesting stuff. I mean, I thought that man was insane at one point. Come to find out, it's not exactly what they're selling to everybody in the public. No one's perfect now, so ain't no one asking the brother to be perfect. No one's asking him to not have shortcomings. No one's saying that he has to be filthy rich. We're not trying to kick a man while he's down. We're asking him to stop kicking the women. That's all we're asking. We're not trying to kick him while he's down. We just want him to keep his feet and his hands to himself. That's what we're asking. Now, what we're gonna do, we got a couple people in the call queue. Can you pick up the 5327? With the last digits being 5327. You can pick it up? All right, let's pick that person up. Let's see what's going on. Okay, caller, are you in? Last number's 5327.
Yes, it's me. It's Hannah. How are you, Polight?
How you doing, sister? My Hebrew sister, or I don't know, are you still a Hebrew Israelite or former Hebrew Israelite?
Former Hebrew Israelite.
Okay, congratulations. Now, what we want to do is this. Oh, no problem. What we want to do is this. You know, when people say, they stop drinking or smoking, sometimes they be like, for 6 months, 3 days, 2 weeks, and all that, 20 seconds, they go hard. So we got to start creating that. But what I'm going to do now, I'm going to ask you, sister, you have been in the Hebrew Israelite community. You're speaking up. You spoke out. I seen your book. You had the middle finger up. It was kind of gangster. I ain't gonna lie. At first I said, oh man, I don't know. However, what I must say is this. Okay? What I must say is this. As a woman that was part of the Hebrew Israelite community, when I first saw the image of your book, and I see you there, one foot pointing out, middle finger up, I said, we may not want to deal with that, sister, because, hey, this is what they want to talk about. But you know what? We got both sides of the pole today. And you know what? If you were done wrong, you get the right and the opportunity to go out there, call people whores like they're doing now, post scream, say all sorts of vulgarities and everything. So, that being the case, what made you so angry when it came to leaving? Because you see me, I'm also going hard. Y'all don't know. Just me saying the black woman is hot, that gave me a lot of hell. We wasn't saying the black woman is the one that created the sun, moon, and the stars and all that. We wasn't saying that. We just saying that we have to venerate our woman to humble ourselves because that's the womb from which we came. Y'all the progenitors of society. So it's like a mnemonic device. We don't really mean literally your God. That's just something we say to keep us in check in case we ever go overboard with you sisters. So that being the case, what got you so angry? Because when I see that book cover and I see that middle finger, I'm like, somebody must have pissed her off, or that woman is just naturally crazy, and she's part of the stereotypical views that we impose on black women whenever they're angry. Because, y'all really don't have the right to be angry or express anger. Whereas as men, we can curse, we can yell, we can scream, we can use every type of term, and all the other names. But when you get angry, you have to still conduct yourself as a woman and keep quiet. What made you so angry, sister? Tell me what got you so cooking? What got you so heated? What perturbed you so much that you not only raised your middle finger, but it became the image of a cover of a book that you took the time out to write? And your book is getting released tomorrow. Come think about it. So let me just say that. Your book is going to be out tomorrow. Am I right?
Correct.
Okay, just making sure. So tell us the name of that book, and then tell us why you're mad.
Well, it's called Why I Abandoned the Hebrew Israelite Religion, a memoir/self-help guide. And it's going to be available on Kindle tomorrow, and eventually it'll be available in paperback. The reason why I'm angry, and not because I'm angry at men, because people who don't know any better, especially most of the Hebrew Israelites, they typecast me as some type of lesbian or probably a feminist who speaks up against that type of religion. And I mean, when I went through hell personally, and I was part of the Shamre Hator camp, which is Nazis camp, and I felt very disregarded because of my gender. In that temple, a woman who menstruates, she's not allowed to fellowship in that temple. That's pretty much majority. I guess it's all the Hebrew Israelite temples. So at the time, I was a homeless woman living in that temple. And, I mean, the way things were handled, it kind of got swept under the rug because, I mean, he was more focused on that debate with Hassetti and yourself at the time. This was around November or December of 2013. Well, no. It was like fall of 2013. So one of his so-called guardians, he didn't like me, and he tried to put me out because they have like a sanctuary within their temple where you're not allowed to go inside if you're on your menstruation. Mind you, I mean, I could have lied or I could not have said anything, but I was honest enough to tell these people that I was on my menstruation. Mind you, I was, you know, I'm amongst nothing but men. I'm the only woman who was living amongst these so-called men in that temple. So they were pissed off at me. And I'm not talking about Nazi, but the people who he entrusted to run that place.
I know he still strives to do good work in the community, but I'm listening.
Right. So it's no personal beef with him, but some things could have been handled differently. I have no issues with his wives or anything like that. We did remain cordial even after I left the temple, but it was just like certain people, and one of them who I was involved with, you know, he had more problems than what he let on. It was more of a front, and I mean, they did not want me there because. I mean, I got a phone call from the guy who I was involved with at the time that such and such did not want me there because I was on my period and I was getting locked out. So I ended up contacting Nazi, letting him know what's going on.
We need to recap. So mothers are not allowed because if they ain't come from a father that meets these people's criteria, they can't come where their daughters are staying at. But then special needs children are not allowed because they're not seen as part of the congregation of God. And no one's supposed to be able to sleep with them later on in the future anyway. Now the woman who's menstruating is not allowed to be in the temple. A cycle that's going to happen inevitably. Who the hell is allowed? Just a bunch of men and the women that's subservient to them? What is the concept behind all this? Have you gathered what might be the reason behind all this? Do you think this is all God's work, or do you think this is misogynistic practices and just males superimposing their space on the woman's right to thrive as a being or divine being herself? Tell me, why do you suppose all these rules that seem like they're more fixed on controlling women, if I'm wrong, you could give me your viewpoint, than it is on making sure we discipline the men as well? What do you think?
Well, I do think it is very misogynistic. You know, they claim that they're doing the work of Yah, but then they use it to, much as I've heard some of them, well, most of them say that, you know, you're not supposed to use the scriptures to fit your own understanding, but they put it in their own, you know, in their own type of context to, you know, abuse people with it and knock other people down with those scriptures based off of how they interpret the book. And I mean, just the God they follow, they say that there's no female God, there's only one God, and his name is Yah. Whether they call him Yahweh, Yahweh-Shai, Yeshua, whatever name they call him, Ahia. I mean, they just say that they go into the book of Leviticus and they use that to say why the women should not be amongst them. But I mean, it's not like they didn't already know that I was going to get my menstruation. I mean, they knew that was going to happen. So for them to act like they didn't even know I was going to get my menstruation, that was preposterous. So I feel it is a very misogynistic thing because I've seen them say, well, you only, you know, the woman submits to the man and the man submits to Yah. But I'm thinking, so if a man treats you like crap, why would you want to submit to him? And I mean, there's no balance in that at all. Because, well, where's Yah's wife? Yeah, those who's listening, they probably think I'm not making any type of sense, but I'm thinking, well, I mean, you come out of your mother and your father, but Hebrew Israelites go based off the seed of the father. You know, it doesn't matter about your mom's lineage, does not matter. Whatever your father is what you are, and it makes no sense because if you got parents of different, you know, races, I mean, shouldn't both of them count because both their blood runs through your veins. And I mean, it's very misogynistic, and I just had enough of it. I mean, they say the woman has no right teaching about the Bible, but wait a minute, isn't she the first teacher? Usually,
sister, you starting that whole type nigga talk. That's that conscious community talk, sister. You got to stop that.
No, what I'm saying is I'm not like ruling out the man or anything like that. All I'm saying is there's got to be balance within that. I'm not for misandry or misogyny. I'm not at all. That's why I said earlier the child comes from the man and the woman. And it's
okay,
they just
so sister,
yeah.
What words of advice? Because you kind of came out, you pioneered in this venture as a woman and said, man, irrespective to whatever anyone thinks, middle fingers up. You know what I'm saying? HE double hockey sticks is on and it's popping. I'm turned up. I'm not hiding this. I'm frustrated, and I know a lot of times people think this is spontaneous, but I know you sisters actually take time. And in this culmination of thoughts, you become patient. You stay humble. You try to do things the way they suggest. So I know this wasn't an overnight process. I know you had them in wrestling within yourself as one aspiring to be better. Coming to terms with this reality that you may have either wasted some time, so to speak, or may have outgrown the situation. Now we have our sister here, TAZARYACH's wife, right on the phone. What words of advice would you give her as one in a relationship that has a context that deals with abuse, verbal, abusive, and economic entrapment, misogynistic practices, a lack of child support, abandonment, demeaning, dissenting views, mind games, deception, poverty, hell. Let's just call it hell. What would you suggest? What kind of words of advice as a woman to another woman? Because I'm going to tell you, when I spoke to this sister, every time I speak to her, she's not about this war business. The number one thing was, let's make sure that we keep this professional. She made it clear from the gate. I still love that man. And he said this after she seen her husband work with this man, General Johanna, to create a show an hour before this show, exposing this whore for her lies before she even opens her mouth to say anything. And one of the first things she said in light of that experience, 1 hour before this show, was, disclaimer, I still love that brother. Even after she's seen that this man's leader can drive him to call her a mother, a wife, a whore before the public, because his leader supports this. The same man that says your child, TAZARYACH, both these children in your family that have special needs, is not allowed into the congregation. I'm commanding General Johanna, and the Lord is with me, and I'm telling you, nigga, you don't let those children of yours in this building because they got special needs. And if their mamas ain't coming from the type of people we want, in the name of God, their ass can't come into this temple. What do you tell this sister? One former Hebrew Israelite sister to another. What words of wisdom can you impart? Because you've got to know that this is a rough path, because you yourself said you were homeless. And I'm sure when you decided to rebel, all sorts of people came out the woodworks like, nah, chill, be quiet, this is wrong, there's better ways to do it, let's seek counsel, let's have this meeting here. So what do you say to her? Because you know this is a lonely road. I know it. Just building with my sister here, it is a lonely road. You know how crazy this is when a man can't even give her $40 fucking dollars? And I already sent bread on the strength of, I forgot to tell you, but we talk about that after this. But I already made sure on the strength I show some love to our children, because we can't do that as black men. So what the hell is a grown man, TAZARYACH? Don't even have $40 damn for his wife. And the man that he want to be in beef with can send money to his own family. And I'm his enemy, but this nigga, General Johanna, is telling him, your children can't even come in here. But I'm your enemy, and I'm here saying, I'm going to throw some money for your family, for your children. But I'm the damn devil, and I'm the enemy, and I'm the agent provocateur. But this man can tell you your own child cannot come in here and pray with you? This is a cult, people. This is the epitome of the word cult. When does another man tell another grown man wearing a damn door knocker on his chest that he ain't allowed? After he wore the door knocker, he should be able to do anything he fucking wants from that day forward. He wears it with fucking pride. No one else understands it. He understands it. No one cares. He don't care. He's out there. But this man can tell you that your child can't come into the temple. He can tell your wife, her mother can't come into the temple. Who the hell is General Yohana? And then he can't even feed his family. But he can turn around and give 10% of everything he already doesn't have to General Yohana? Sister, lay it on, my sister. Tell her something. Tell her something. What words of advice? First of all, y'all gotta make sure y'all connect and keep y'all communication going. We'll do that off the record. But what do you tell your sister? We need to save TAZARYACH, because I think he's a good brother, but he's being manipulated by General Yohana. Not to take away from any of the things he may have done wrong as a man, but I just think he looks up to Yohana so much, because there's not much men that could allow another man to tell them that their child can't be with them for prayer, or that, hey, I'm going to take this money from you even though you can't feed your family. Come on, I mean, who does this? Sister, give my sister some advice. What would you say to help her? Because this is a lonely path when you first start making this transition and you give up a lot of your way to conform to these rules and these regulations, and you start shedding the skin of friends. You know this path. Come on, Hannah, tell us something.
Hello, you talking to the question for me or for her?
For Hannah.
Hello?
Yeah, Hannah, I want you to build.
To her. Oh, okay. What is my advice is, I mean, because I'm part of a group called Life After Christianity. The people there, I mean, there's atheists, there's like people in there who are very, you know, they're like not for religion, and they've been very helpful. I have some sisters of mine, Lily, who was like the first person who had helped encourage me out of the Hebrew Israelite religion, because she used to be a Hebrew Israelite. And, you know, she really, really helped open my eyes a lot better, because I remember she told me one of the things that she told me that really opened my eyes when she said that if you call your God, and you give your God a gender, if you say father, it's like you pretty much done put a man over you, because she said, how can a man be your head when you already have a head on your body? So, I mean, she really had me, like, you know, question my own critical thinking skills, because she left way before I did, because she didn't have a problem with questioning things. And, you know, my advice to this sister here is, you know, continue to strive and just get to know thyself. I mean, I'm friends with plenty of people who do get where I'm coming from. I mean, I've had even men who are former Hebrew Israelites who reached out to me when they saw my book cover, and it really helped a lot. I mean, you have no idea. I mean, I have more people who support what I'm doing than those who are against what I'm doing. So I can definitely also connect you with other people who are former Hebrew Israelite sisters as well. And I mean, these sisters, I mean, they've come a long way. I've talked with one sister tonight. You know, she's been religion free for 15 years. So a lot of people out there who will give you a lot of encouraging words.
That's what it is. And I think y'all need to seriously organize, because you got women in there being intimidated, women in there who would leave, but despite the poor living conditions that suffice, as opposed to going out there and have absolutely nothing, having been maimed or reduced to a childlike position where they don't have control of their own funds. You feel me? With children. So it's a very difficult situation. So you sisters got to stay organized. And you got to kind of be the backbone for the sisters that's kind of reluctant to make that transition. If you women are out there and you listening, trust me, no one's going to get more hell than I'm going to get. So I'm in hell's fire right now, and I don't care. I'm in hell's fire. They're going to be, oh, he's a feminist. He's a black male feminist. They're going to go at me. They're going to be doing this for weeks and weeks on end. Now, I'm not trying to get at all the Hebrew Israelites. I'm just saying the real ones got to start stepping up, because if they don't, it is what it is. Now, my sister, now, are you, not Hannah this time around, are you still a Hebrew Israelite?
No.
Am I still?
Sorry.
Sorry, out twice.
Okay.
Yes. And if whatever the terms may be, please explain why or why not. Are you still a Hebrew Israelite?
That's a hard question, because when we're dealing with who we are as a people, I do believe that is there, the Hebrew Israelite some culture, and also but with what they're teaching and what I've experienced, that is not conducive to what I was told is real, is the real deal. You know, what we should really be living and doing and striving for. What I came into this for was to be raised up. My information was, you love your wife as you love your own body, and that's a scripture. I know we're not supposed to teach, but they, you know, these were things that I wanted to do. I wanted to better things that I did myself. You know, I have issues as far as mouth, and sometimes that was a issue with how I responded to things that were occurring. So these are things that I thought that the culture would help me better in. And I thought I was going to learn Hebrew shortly after.
Hold on, because he's always bragging about knowing the Hebrew inside out. How is it you wound up not knowing Hebrew? We got to put the brakes on this part of the conversation. I'm listening.
Okay. We were when you first get to know your purported supposed husband, that's going to be your husband, you have to go to class. I guess some people don't. They just sleep with him right away. Well, he does. I'm not going to speak for all Hebrews. So I was in class, and with that class I was taking, and I was doing a class on whatever the class was for the week, and I was also doing Hebrew. I learned some phrases. I learned the salute. I learned little things, you know, but this is not really, you know, fluent learning to read the scriptures or anything like that, and none of his wives know how to read. They know a couple, the wada and, you know, the salute and a couple little words here.
Yeah, the little salakis and all that stuff, yeah.
Exactly, and then they start speaking in English after they say the one word. So it's like, you know, what's the purpose? So that was cut off shortly after, you know, a couple months of being married. Then he, you know, I believe he took me out of the class because he started seducing other women that were in the class in New York. He was teaching. And I will remember some fuzzy conversations where he would be on the phone in class, and then he would say, I will call you back. And, you know, there's a woman talking, and, you know, he's very, very promiscuous. So this was always the thing. So eventually I just was taken out of class. I don't know why, because I really liked the experience of the class and learning. So I was just taken out of that, and I never explained why, and I never had a class since. So that's been maybe about 8 months, maybe about 8 months or more.
Got you. Okay. Well, I have something here, right? This is an interview with John Lightborn, right? I mean, General Yohana, not John Lightborn. This is with John Lightborn, General Yohana, pardon me, www.splcenter.org. This was an interview that was conducted by a person of this community, and they were asking questions to General Yohana about, you know, polygamy, homosexuality, pedophilia, and the likes. So, I want to go down to it. This is an interview that took place in 2008. Again, you can get the address. I'll give you the web address again. Actually, it's www.splcenter.org or Southern Poverty Law Center.org. And they have a General Yohana discusses black supremacists, Hebrew Israelites. And in this interview, of course, he identifies the Hebrew Israelites as Christians, though I know that's not what y'all probably would identify as they. Of course, he identifies himself as Christians. But here goes an interesting part right here. The interviewer asks General Yohana, could a gay man join your church? General Yohana proceeds to say, absolutely. Okay, now this is important because every time you turn around, he's a molester, or people are gay, kill the gays, burn the gays. So we want to look into the minds and the heart, the mind and the heart of General Yohana. So the interviewer asks General Yohana, could a gay man join your church? He says, absolutely. We have quite a few ex-gay men in the Israelite school community. If you follow, I'll say it again. Could a gay man join your church? Absolutely. General Yohana replies. He also says, we have quite a few ex-gay men in the Israelite school community. If you follow God's rules, you have enough power to leave any sinful life behind. Crack, drugs, and homosexuality. Anything that's destroyed our communities and left us in these ghettos. We give them the power to wash that stuff out and to live a healthy life that will help save our people's lives. We have people come to us who say, yes, I'm gay. Yes, I'm a child molester. But I want to be brand new. We start them on that righteous walk, and we've had great success. So child molesters and gay people are allowed into the community. We're going to read more. What do you do about ex-gay members who go back to same-sex love? Things like this that are brought to our council, no different than someone who was on crack and backslid and ended up taking crack again. So a homosexual who leaves that lifestyle but backslides is just another sinner who's made a mistake. But as of yet, we haven't had anyone who's done that. In fact, we have the opposite. They've gone on to take wives. So these former gay men are in the community. They go on to take wives. All right. The gays and the pedophiles are allowed into the community because as far as he's concerned, they have a 100% track record of reforming the gays and the pedophiles that they're allowed into the community. My sister, have you ever heard this in regards to General Yohana? Did you ever know about this conversation or interview?
I never heard about that particular interview.
Okay. Now, okay, and I'll let the viewership know where they can find it again just so they understand where they can see it. Okay, and this is Southern Poverty Law Center, so you go www.splcenter.org. All right, and of course, this is a very sensitive conversation, so you'll go as far as you're willing. You don't have to go as far as I'm willing. Now, one thing we do know, or you know, is that one of TAZARYACH's better friends or best friends or closest people, who's part or was part of ISUPK at the time, was incarcerated. This leader in the community, this member of the community, was incarcerated for child molestation, correct?
Yes, it's actually his best brother, the one he used to be with all the time. He calls him, that's his best friend, his best brother. TAZARYACH is his name. And this brother is currently incarcerated. He's still a part of ISUPK. He's currently incarcerated for sleeping with his wife's daughter, who's a minor.
Interesting. And he's still an ISUPK member?
Yes. TAZARYACH talks to him. He often talks to him. He sends him money and things like that.
He's sending, hold on, he's sending a convicted child molester money? Yes, ISUPK member that's incarcerated. He's currently still, he doesn't have the $10 for the wife. He doesn't have the $40 for you, the $10 for the other wife. Failing in his commitment as a man to his children as far as child support is concerned. But he has the money to give to a convicted child molester. Is this what you're telling me?
Yes, and they all blame the little girl. They all say that she's a liar, and I can imagine what she's went through, but they're all saying that she's lying. But they've been holding this man for years, so it you know.
I mean, there's no love for Dr. Young. Certainly. I mean, I guess only if you choose to molesting one child, I guess they can. This is very interesting stuff. Very interesting. Now it's up to you if you want to go any further about child molestation or pedophilia. Do you believe that somewhere in the undercurrent or any sentiment is inside of ISUPK that kind of gives you the impression that they want to marry young girls or kind of prepare young girls to be read by men? You kind of get a sense of that kind of energy in ISUPK.
Yes. When I first went to someone outside of ISUPK and I spoke with them, and they told me and informed me to be careful because his niece just got out of it, in which what they noticed that they were setting up is that a lot of them get, women, single mothers with teenage girls, so that when the teenage girls are ready, just as GMS, they explained it what the GMS does, that they believe the same thing, but they hide it. You don't find out until you get in there.
I'm going to ask you the question again. Some people said it was breaking up a little bit, so I'm going to ask you again. We're going to follow up from the fact that TAZARYACH still sends money to a present-day ISUPK member who is presently convicted for child molestation that is still accepted and embraced by the ISUPK community. Now, we fast forward, and what's that guy's name again that's incarcerated for child molestation?
Taj Royala. Taj Royala.
Taj Royala?
Yeah, I can't pronounce it too.
No problem.
Taj Royala.
Yeah, no problem. Taj Royala. Okay, so Taj Royala is presently incarcerated for child molestation, and TAZARYACH still sends him money, and the ISUPK still has his membership instated. With that being said, the next question is, and I have to ask it again because some people said it was breaking up, and they intently are listening. They all in this. Do you feel any form of sentiment or inclination towards the ISUPK structure's inclination towards little girls? Do you feel somewhere there's some kind of incentive, and this is your opinion, to spouse the grown men with little girls?
Yes, and there's certain reasons why. That one incident was one reason why. Then there was another incident where, even on TAZARYACH's page, he posted at the Passover a picture of him and his daughter, in which a man offered some cattle and something to have his daughter. So this is
whose daughter?
To have TAZARYACH's daughter. That's on
How did TAZARYACH respond when a man offered to have his daughter for some cattle?
He said that she's only 13. He did respond that she's only 13.
That's good.
So now, then we fast forward to, there was an incident where he confided in me that the first wife's niece was living in the home with them. I guess she was a wayward child, and had to stay with them for a while or something. I don't know how old this child was, but obviously she was impressionable, and it confided in me that the first wife had jumped on him and about sleeping with the niece, her sister's daughter. So
hold on, you saying TAZARYACH was accused of sleeping with a minor?
With his niece, his wife's sister's daughter.
Wow.
So it was his niece.
Okay, but can't prove it. This is just an instance that took place. Just to be clear, to be fair.
He told me, because he would tell me she's crazy, and and she accused him of sleeping with her. And as time went on, and I started to see other things and other things in his behavior as well. I just spoke with a girl that's like 27 3 days ago on Facebook, and she called me, and I asked her a line of questioning. It matched to the T what he does with all the wives when he first meets them. There was another one named Samantha Fitton, Sammy Joe. I spoke with her before, and she had the same line. He comes to them with, Debash is a monster, she's the worst wife ever, the same scenario, and these are younger, they're not minors, those two, but, he pretends to lay out this foundation for them, and, basically to get them to, go to bed with him or whatever he wants at that point. So this is something that's very well known. There are some young girls that I suspect that he is in with. I would be interested to see that video and see if they actually showed his wives, all of his wives, because I suspect two of them just came out of high school. If I'm right about these two girls, then I know they just came out of high school.
Oh, wow. This is a lot. This is a lot. I'm not going to even lie to you. This is a lot. And I'd like to thank you for keeping your composure this whole time. You haven't been yelling. You haven't been cursing. You haven't been screaming. I know they are cursing us out on the other end. I was actually going to ask for a moment's time to see if I could hear them, because I know they raising hell. They was raising hell when I was listening to the radio show. But I know that I now have to bring it back. Oh, you know what? Let's get another caller. If we can and see what the people are feeling about the situation. Let's see. Hold on. Okay. You got him?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What's the last 4 digits? 3828. Are you out there? 3828?
Hello, can you hear me?
Hey, what's up? Welcome to New Covenant Radio.
Yeah, that's what's up. We got a real interesting interview going on right here, you know?
It's intense. It's intense.
Yeah, I want to start off by saying, it's a guy by the name of Mighty Hebrew. He just got out of prison for child molestation, so that shit is real familiar amongst their community. I just want to put that out there for anybody that's...
What you said? Hold on, brother. You can't just... Hold on. We don't want you just putting out accusations. Are you telling us if we look this stuff up, this is a fact? Because we don't want to accuse nobody of nothing that they have done. We don't want to do that on this radio show. We want to make it clear if it's proof or a lack of proof.
Anybody amongst the Hebrew community, I don't want to say it's government lane over the airlines. I don't want to do that. But anybody amongst the Hebrew community, they know who we talk about when I refer to the Mighty Hebrew. And they know he fresh to these streets for doing something he wasn't supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? And,
I know who Mighty Hebrew is, because he just came from prison.
Yeah, a lot of people know who he is, too. They have to register. So, he's out there. It's not hard to find. He's out there. But, to the two sisters that's on the line, I just want to give them mad props and love for the courage, for standing up and putting this information out there, because they're going to get a lot of backlash. And, you know how I get with these ignorant brothers. So I just want to give them their props. And my question is really for either one of the sisters or both. I just want to know, for the mothers, how do y'all raise, how are the daughters raised? Are the daughters raised in the community that they are secondary or inferior to their male siblings? And do they not have a problem raising their daughters to be like slaves to a future husband or whatever? I want to know what is the criteria to raising a daughter in the Israelite community, basically?
Well, oh, go ahead.
Okay, go. You can go.
Well, to my understanding, generally, the woman, she's secondary to a man. I personally haven't seen many, but just from this so-called Hebrew brother who was raising a daughter, he was actually known of a few who were not nasty towards their own daughters, but the way they view women is pretty much the same misogynistic ideologies. And usually the women are supposed to be the ones who teach the children, especially the daughters. But of course, generally, again, it just goes back to, the women, the female, she's pretty much beneath the man. So that doesn't change.
Wow. Unbelievable.
Sister, you wanted to add on?
Basically, they're just taught to serve their husbands. So basically that's all, I know, because I don't have young boys around my daughters. There's no Hebrew boys, or TAZARYACH doesn't have any sons besides a son that's an older stepson by Debash. So he doesn't have any young, sons that, he would teach to be, over. But it's pretty much, the women, the girls, the young girls, I will put it, are going to be raised to serve their husbands just as the mothers do.
Wow. Yeah, that's unbelievable right there. I think we need to boycott. This Million Man March, and let's march on this Israelite community, man. This shit got to stop, man.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with having laws, statutes, and commandments. Nothing wrong with people even subscribing to scriptures of their choice. The problem comes in when we clearly are compromising the lives of our children and our women under leadership that obviously is lacking discipline themselves. That's the problem. And all those brothers there, they got to put their foot down at one point, stop hiding, and just reform that thing. Make it right. That's all they got to do. Make it right. Stop hiding. Admit something's wrong going on and just start cleaning up. But if the leadership can behave like this, it's not going to say much for anybody else that comes in. It's not going to say much. And for those, again, that's like, yo, how you do something like this? What do you mean? Whatever do you mean? I've been threatened. I've been cursed out. My wives are constantly being ridiculed. And now there's rules of engagement during beef? I've never heard of such a thing. Oh, so, okay, people can talk about your wives, but just don't bring a person's wife on phone, because now that's not even. Supposed to fight at even. That's what I'm supposed to do. This don't make no sense. Secondly, children are involved, people. This is bigger than, oh, somebody might look bad. And like I said, I don't take nothing away from TAZARYACH, anything he's done wrong. But what I will say is this. He is heavily influenced by a very wicked man. He's heavily influenced. And I mean, I know they think their organization is bigger than it really is. That's part of the sales pitch. And the name of the game is to keep everyone broke so you can take as much as they have. And yo, hey, let's make sure some of your children, we got a real good excuse for you not to take care of, so you don't have no conscience when you don't take care of your child. You know, and let's get the women out of here who's menstruating. And yo, your mother, she can't come in here, cut that out. And then you wind up with a bunch of men. Because you're running the women away, and then any women you wind up keeping are going to be spineless. So what happens if something happens to the man? You're going to have a spineless woman who has no economic momentum there to fend for a child when she's put into a childlike state and disposition, which is why, as far as TAZARYACH's wife being on the phone, I have a great deal of respect for this woman here, because despite the adversity, she stays on this grind. We're building about rich mom, poor mom, finance or fiance, and she's employing a lot of the sciences, the business sciences in those books, and I think she's going to be a very deep and profound sister in the community that will be able to empower younger women so they can see the symptoms that is reflective of misogyny. She's brilliant. She's able to put together contracts. I've seen the contract that she put together for TAZARYACH, and I was proud of my sister, because the right situation would be precipitated by us going into contract with each other to hold each other's word to our bond, not going to Santa Claus and Spike telling us when we can do what we got to do. No. This sister right here can actually implement something into the community to rectify some of the issues they already have. So fine, the women can't teach from the scriptures. Cool, let her keep the law aspect and organize the situation amongst the men and the women so they can have legal fallouts. See, if they had legal fallouts, people's word would be held because it's written in an instrument. So I really, really know that this sister's going to be in good hands because of her very own mind. But the community out there, because we got hundreds of people listening right now, okay, I want you to show your love and your support for this sister whenever she arises, because they are going to play games. Now, we backing her up 1,000%. The Black Power movement, the RBG movement, New Covenant, we all here. Ain't nobody going to allow, like I told my sister before, ain't nobody going to allow no one to do anything. Or you could just call, speed of it, at the drop of a hat. You know, you got my number. You call anytime. Drop of a hat, we good money, because this is important, because our children cannot be subject to these stark circumstances and conditions. Under no circumstances can we allow something like that. It's not right. And call us what you want to call us, but at the end of the day, if she has tried to reconcile these issues for an extended period of time, and no one has allocated or been delegated any form of responsibility to see to it that at least these two people can separate healthy. On one end, the leadership on another radio show has taken the time out to work with another man to call his wife a hoe. I don't give a fuck what problem I'm having with my wife. The leader of my community is not going to co-sign my wife as a hoe with me. What if y'all just got back together? You got to live every day knowing the damn leader co-sign you a hoe? And Polight, you're stepping in between their relationship. And Johanna could come in and say she's a hoe and co-sign that. And he should tell that man, don't do a damn radio show on your wife unless you're going to let her know that you love her. Not, well, my wife ain't speak yet. Fuck it. Let's do a show an hour earlier and let's make sure we call her whore and tell everyone she's lying before she even opens her mouth. That is the workings of guilty people. They did a show 1 hour early calling her the lying whore before she even opened her mouth to speak. Guilt. And when the leader of a so-called giant organization comes down the stairs to deal with another man's relationship and co-signs that his wife is a whore with no evidence of her actually being a whore, but to make sure to preface they get their show off 1 hour earlier than a show that they didn't even bother to listen to before they repudiate anything, we know we are dealing with a very immature, undisciplined, obese ghetto Santa. No self-respecting man is going to allow another man to co-sign his wife being a whore. Where they do that at? He has no respect for TAZARYACH. No self-respecting man is going to let another man tell him his child can't come in the building to play with him. No self-respecting man is going to let another man tell his wife that her mama can't come in and see what her daughter's doing. No self-respecting man is going to know that that man's wife is complaining because she's lacking in resources, finances, and still warrant the behavior of him getting 10% of that man's funds, knowing that man can't even feed his own fucking self, let alone his family. What the hell does Johanna got going on there? Why is a leader who got promoted to captain, he was officer, now he's a captain, and he's still broke? There's no price wage. There's no increment of change for compensation. An officer and captain is getting paid the same damn thing. Then all you got, TAZARYACH, is a damn title. And a new fucking doorknob. Whoop-de-doo. He's playing you, man. Now you got beef with people who gave your family fucking money. And this man is taking money from your family. I'm not your enemy, King. This woman is not your enemy. This woman still says she loves you. And I pray I can help put you guys together. But you do need to be scolded, my brother, because you letting another grown-ass man manipulate your life like you some little boy. You got children of your own. Don't let that grown man do that to you, brother. And I know you don't see me as a brother. I know you see me as African. I know all that crazy talk you talk. But one day you're going to wake up and you're going to say you wasted all them damn years under this man who co-signed that your wife is a whore. How much respect that he has for you. That is one of the most embarrassing things you can ever get your leader to co-sign, that you had a relationship with a whore. It should be embarrassing. He should not be so readily accessible to come in and intervene in your domestic affairs, because if you get your ass kicked on them streets, he's not going to come out as fast as he came out to do that radio show on your wife. And every time you got drama, and every time you're on them streets cussing people out, he's not there thinking, what if TAZARYACH dies because of the drama? He's not thinking that something you say on that radio to disrespect somebody can get you hurt. He is pushing you into the flames. After all, he's not going to lose anything, because when you was an officer and you was a captain, you still have the same status. Just your name changed. This is slavery. This is that nigga shit. This 2015 nigga shit. Call a nigga from officer to captain and watch him protrude his chest and still can't feed his family. Grow up, King. Grow up. Johanna is playing you. And anybody that's listening, if you can reach that brother or contact him, tell him, get his life straight. Tell him stop playing around. My sister, I'm going to allow you to close out. If you have any closing words to the people, to the sisters out there, it's all on you. You know, but like I said, I commend you for your courage. I'm about to do the cook rages that Johanna stuff in my brain. I'm about to commend you for you being able to endure the mind games. I commend you because I know when women go through these situations, a lot of times they cut off friends and family because that's how this thing is designed. That's the archetype for misogyny. Cut all friends and family off, keep your ass broke, make you think you're always wrong about everything you're thinking and everything you're doing. Whatever you got, just give it. Every little bit, women. Get every little bit of money and turn it over to your Lord, your husband. That doctrine is not nothing new. And what that doctrine does, it makes a woman feel like I can't leave. I can't go because even if I wanted to, what do I have? I done cut off my friends. I done told my mother she can't come around, so my mother don't deal with me no more because I let them cut off my connection to my mother. My children ain't feeling me because I let them cut off my connection with my children for this man and for this man's leader. And I ain't got no money. So I understand the women out there. I understand it all too well that you are put into a very precarious situation that needs remedy in real time. And more women would speak out if they knew they had outlets. So we're telling you that we will be your outlet. New Covenant is your outlet. We're not interested in your personal business. We just need to know that as a sister, you don't have to feel like you have to play a subservient role for an indefinite time because you have no finances or because you're locked into a situation that makes you reconsider or reevaluate if what you're doing is spiritually wicked. That's all game. So, sister, do you have anything you would like to say? Anything we might have left out? You could put it all on the line, put it on the table, how you really feel. It's your right, it's your world. You're a black woman, you deserve the love and the respect. And we identify you as our creator, but not in a negative, disrespectful way. We just appreciate you as the progenitor of society, from which all life comes out of on this planet Earth. As far as human beings are concerned, we appreciate you. What is it that you would like to say?
Well, I want to say I appreciate all the support that I got because it took me a long time. And as everybody knows, a lot of people knew about this. And like Polight says, everybody's hitting me up now saying and was telling me, please don't do this, please don't do this. But where we are at a year ago, I've been going through this for so long. And like I said, I wasn't, the totally innocent person. I've argued with those wives, the first wife. I never had an argument with any of the others, unless they were secret to me on Facebook. I got a lot of that. But this is something that's really sick because what good is it to say marriage is forever in UPK? Marriage is forever. There is no divorce. When at any time you can ostracize your wife, abandon your family, abandon them and just outright not show up, not talk to them for months, not ask, do you need anything in the home? Are you alive? Are you okay? Things of that nature because of your emotions, because you got upset or you had an argument or something. This is what was taking place. And this is what TAZARYACH does to the other wife because I've seen the texts. I've seen it where she's begging him, pleading with him, please, TAZARYACH, please. Please don't do me like this. Please talk to me. I've made progress in counseling. This woman is suffering. She's in counseling at her job, trying to get her some sanity because she's tried to take her life before. So this is very serious, and we have children involved. So this is not a game here. This is very, very real. I have all of the text messages. I have everything. If anybody wants to ask me any other questions, I have no problem with that. You can always hit me, ask me.
Okay. Are you open for any more questions, or you good?
We can take a couple more if you would like. I don't mind.
Okay. Let's see who we got on here. And we're going to tell the people, be respectful. Because if you're not, it's all good. We just cut you out of the conversation. Be very respectful. We don't have the time for that. All right. Okay, let's see. What's the mute right here? Okay, so we're gonna. It's hard to see who got their hands up because something. Those are hands up. Oh, okay, cool. So we're gonna pick up on 3961. Speak to us. What's your name? Where you from? 3961. That's the last 4 digits. What's your name? Where you from?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, hey, peace to you, Brother Polight, and peace to the beloved sister who bringing this testimony for. This is Mikael Ben Israel. Some of y'all know me. I've had about one conversation with you, Polight, before. I got the Hebrews in the Hood Network on YouTube and Walls of Jericho, so you know. Now, I'm listening. Yeah, and this is good, brother. I'm not coming with any angle because I'm not from One West. I'm not from them camps. I am a Hebrew Israelite. There's no doubt. Everybody knows one.
And we got love for you, brother.
I got love for you too, brother. And I've talked to you before. But this is my thing, though, brother. We could talk about some things, but this I just have a question, and it will not be a malicious question because this is what I want people to understand too. You can't attack somebody for what happened to them and what they believe and what they feel. So I want to say that to my Israelites listening, thinking that this is some Israelite Kemet, Nuwabian type thing. No, this is some real life stuff in our community type thing. But what I want to ask the sister is, I have 2 questions. I have one for you, Brother Polight, and I got one for my beloved Okoti. Now, what I want to ask to you first, I'm going to line them up, and y'all can answer them in y'all order. First, with you, Polight, I just did a show the other day, and I said on that show, Polight could be one of our best leaders of our people. Even if we get past this Hebrew Kemet thing, I believe you could be one of our best leaders. But what I don't like is when just listen to me, bro. I'm from the south side of Chicago. I'm from the south side of Chicago, bro. I have an anti-gang activist community network and all that. So I'm in the community like you are, doing the work. And what I don't like is when somebody is disingenuous with their information. And then, if a brother asks you something, just because, like, for example, this whole thing with the ISUPK, the fact that you got this brother's wife on here, look, I don't even agree with ISUPK, and I'm a Hebrew Israelite. I don't agree with a lot of their doctrine. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to let that be known right now. But it's beyond that. And what I'm saying is, when you put somebody's personal wife in there, and I'm not talking about you, bro, just listen. Don't cut me off. Because I want to ask her a question, too. What I'm saying is, when you do that, do you understand, on that mental level that you have, you know how to interpolate, you know what I'm saying, interrogate, because you know how to do that, too. And you know how to, all of these things that we know the words for that make it sound good, you know how to break this down psychologically. Because I was a social science damn near major. And what I know is, it's how you communicate to the people. My whole thing is, you can say 15 billion long letter words, but you could have really said them in 2 8-letter words. My thing is, if you can look past all that, what is this person really saying? So what I'm asking you is, what would benefit us as a people for this man's wife to come on here and talk about the bad issues that they get, right? When a brother could pull that same thing with your wife, but the difference is you are younger. You young, bro. You got 3 young wives. If somebody went and dug up their past from way back in the day, you would say, hey, you can't bring that up. But at the same time, you're going to let this sister, and I'm not saying I'm bad about you, sister, give me my chance for you if you give it to me, because I'm known. It's a lot of people on the line waiting for me to say something. So I'm asking you. What I mean is, at the same time, you have to be fair with what you're doing. Because what you're doing right now, you have people that follow you, Polight. You are a leader in our community. I've never had nothing against you, bro, even though you Kemet. Because sometimes you say stuff, and I want us to ride with you. And then you would say something that you contradicted just a minute ago. So with what you just did right now, you have a habit of doing it. You would say something like, well, I don't want to make this brother look bad, but he's burning in hellfire and he's playing with a little boy with his ding-a-ling in the butt. But, I'm not going to judge that.
I don't know what you're talking about, so let's omit that.
Oh, bro, this is how you...
And we got to keep this... No, hold on, real quick, brother. Hold on, real quick. I've been very, very respectful. I've been extremely patient. We have to give, because the amount of time we have left in the show is literally 26 minutes and 34 seconds, and we have over 380 people in the call queue. So that being the case, I have to, as the host, constrict you as far as time is concerned, because you got 2 questions, not one. So I sat here humble, and I allow you to scold me and appraise me. And I don't mind allowing you to go forward, but you might eventually wind up only getting 1 question off if you don't ask 1 question now. But my intention is not to disrespect you. I believe I was very quiet, and I allow you to say what you said. So I'm here for you right now. I just want you to know we're at the 25-minute and 57-second mark, and we want to make the other callers have an opportunity to speak as well. So that's what I want to tell you. Go ahead, brother.
Okay, well, I'm going to do it real quick then. I just want to put a question on your mind. All I want to ask you is, my brother Polight, is if it was not for the Bible, would you ever in your life attack the Hebrew Israelites on a regular basis that you do? That's all I want to ask. And it's me, Kayel Ben Yisrael, Hebrews in the Hood.
Okay, I'll answer that question. What's very interesting is I have a rule. I make sure that when I antagonize or I attempt to refute or rebut any claims the Israelites are making, I always make sure I don't respond until 4 to 6 attacks against me in my personal life or my doctrine. I have an actual recordation of this to make sure that I don't lose sight. I think it's very educational, so I don't mind going to the diatribes because it's for the purposes of education. I see people that stay exactly where they are, stagnant on the same streets each day. You know what? There's no problem. Whatever makes your boat float. But to marginalize me and to say that I am in this constant ensuing event called Attack the Hebrew Israelites would be to discredit my body of work, because I'm right now, as we speak, on a world tour. I just came back from the Bahamas, and I'm leaving for Canada. Okay? Wednesday, Thursday, I'm leaving for Canada. I come back from Canada. I'll be going to Hollywood. I leave from Hollywood. I'll be going to Texas. Texas, I will be going to London. From London, I have to get back. I'm going back to Africa. Okay? So, to teach. So, it's maybe, real quick, brother. Real quick, I didn't do that to you. Maybe the media or the platform that you're watching may have the recurring theme of Brother Polight and ensues the Hebrew Israelites. But there are a diversity of media or platforms that's out here, like Black Magic 363, where every time I'm on there, you never hear nothing about Hebrew Israelites. It's always about hip-hop, consciousness, metaphysics, or herbs. When I'm on Saneter TV, there's a higher inclination for me to talk about the Israelites. When I'm on New Covenant or New Covenant TV, it's predominantly economics and then something pertaining to health. So depending on the platform, and when it's KTL Know the Ledge, it's normally some kind of socio-political disposition that I hold. So perhaps it's the platform that you can find me on or that you're listening to.
Well, you know what, on that level, you gave me my time, so I'm going to leave in peace, Brother Polight. I got love for you, brother, but I want to say something to you. You know how to look me up, because you know who I am. Mike Ward, 32212@gmail.com. I'm Hebrews in the Hood, TV, and Walls of Jericho. And what I want to say to you is, brother, if that's the case, just hit me up, bro, because I'm in Chicago. And from what I'm seeing in these years, you are exiled from Chicago and Indiana. They say you can't even come back to these cities. So
I don't know who told you that. I never heard of that. Well, you could talk about it with whoever told you that, because I never was told that a day in my life.
Listen what I'm saying, brother. I was the chief for these organizations here. So this ain't no fake little crip 1990s type shit that happened in New Jersey. I'm telling you, you cannot come to Chicago or Indiana. I know this from what they telling me. So we got.
I never got an update, brother. I got you.
When the last time you been to Chicago, Polight?
The last time I've been to Chicago was when I was hired to do a lecture.
When was that?
That's the last time. I think that was about a year and change ago. About a year and a half ago. In the Wild Wild Hundred. In the Wild Wild Hundred.
I'm trying to tell you, bro, this is more serious than you think. This is beyond ISUPK, because I don't even deal with them brothers like that. Even though they might
we appreciate you, brother.
What I'm telling you is, on an organizational level, cats say you can't even come to Chicago or Indiana, and I have not seen you here.
Well, you know what? There's people, okay, hold on, stop, brother. There's people that are in South Africa that have not seen me there since the last time I've been there. There's people that are in Utah that haven't seen me there in the 2 years since the last time I've been there. So if that is the word on the streets, perhaps you can help me out with it. But I never got the memo. The last time I checked, I got a lot of good brothers and sisters that's out there that's imploring that I come back, much like any other state. In fact, if you want to do some research, you go to my Facebook page. Polight Goes to the Bahamas. Hold on, listen. If you go to Polight Goes to the Bahamas, you'll see something. You'll see people say, come to this state, come to that. When you coming back here, when you come back to us. If you see, hold on, Polight going to London, you'll see, yo, when you come to Canada, when you come to Texas, when you come, if you see any place where I say I'm going to be somewhere, you'll see a bunch of people from their states asking when am I going to be back or when I'm finally going to come. So with that said, I can tell you have a lot of reservations, and we'll talk to you later, brother. We got to get to somebody else, so we appreciate you. So with that said, it's clear that he had a lot of other stuff going on. He loved me and he hate me. It's okay. I only love that brother. Now we're going to go to another call. How do I do this? And again, it's not why did I bring this man's wife on the radio show. I didn't grab her by the hair and play Bam Bam from the Flintstones. This is a sister that wanted an outlet to express herself, feeling confined, feeling unheard, and becoming restless at the fact that there was no remedy coming in real time. That's what it is. And I mean, sister, you can always speak for yourself as well, you know, but that's what I see. I know I ain't go knocking people just don't go knocking on people's doors and saying, hey, despite the fact you're somebody's wife, you're coming with me and you're going to do this. What are people thinking? You know what I'm saying? I didn't just go to somebody and say, man, grab you by the hair, you're going to do this with me now, despite, I mean, give the sister more credit than that. Give her more credit. Yeah, sister, you still on?
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay.
Well, no, that wasn't what happened. Basically, like we stated before and like I've stated, and those that know what's been transpiring, those that know, they know this has been transpiring for over a year. So they're pretty familiar with this, and they know. So he's not,
Yeah. Hello?
Yeah, he just does not know. So therefore, he's looking at it like, you just found me since Cross the Line happened. No, this was going on way before it happened. So this is not, and I made it very clear that I'm not going to be a part of what y'all got going on. I wanted to get an audience that I felt, because I could have easily went to another genre. I could have went to my sister Donna Corleone's show and did this. But I chose this genre because more people can be reached and more women can be reached, and they would know how to discern better.
No doubt. So, you know, again, we show you love, and we got love for Chicago, Indiana. This is the first time I'm hearing these things. There's plenty of places that I haven't been in quite some time, and there's plenty of places I came to for the first time. This year I did Las Vegas for the first time, and I'm actually opening up a bookstore out there in Las Vegas this year. Okay, we have a business intelligence office out there. I also went to the Bahamas for the first time this year, and I'm going to be back out there for a whole month as the government is buying me a house out there to stay for a whole month to implement my economic program. I eventually have to decide what place it suffices to go to based on the appreciation level, the commitment, and also my family, because I have to homeschool my children as I'm traveling. So that's what it is. But nonetheless, still love all the fam out there in the shot. Still love, one of our new cabinet members just went out there and taught class, Brother Inky, you know, or Usir Kepere. We love these people, no matter how much they may be bitter. And I believe some of the contentions really have their inception in the Israelite Kemetic thing. But this is not a Kemetic thing. I haven't, sister, so you know what the Ankh really is. I haven't done that. This whole thing, like, sometimes we got to get out of that. Is anyone realizing that this is about women and children and a form of suffrage that is taking place in a community that is circumventing or undermining the intelligence of the women who give birth to the children who are espoused to the men that are supposed to represent the leadership? Nowhere in here was we saying anything about Kemetic science. It's just really not that deep. And the main focus has been on ISUPK. Somebody ventured off to say something about Nazi. Someone ventured off to say something about the mighty Hebrew. Even when Nazi was mentioned, to kind of smooth it out, I said, shout out to the brother Nazi. I know he's trying to do good works and stuff. I mean, the brother slanders me. He says things. You know, I could go on his page right now and see stuff on me in between his page. I go on most Hebrew pages right now. I'm a prevalent force in there. I understand. I'm influential, and that's going to happen. I'm not complaining. But this situation here and how I got involved, okay, is twofold. It's twofold. And the priority always is going to be the woman and the child. That's a priority. If a sister needs an outlet, who is anyone to tell me I can't give a sister an outlet because she's on the side of the people that's been disrespecting me? How insane. There's a bunch of things going wrong with that whole conversation. I have every reason, for a number of reasons. Come on, but you putting up, hey, hold up, son. You ain't tell nobody that these guys were wrong, constantly attacking my family when I'm like keeping information. Everything is an excuse for why everybody's right for what they do over there. I'm a grown man. Come on, man. I did my best. Even when it was said about TAZARYACH potentially being a molester, I said, well, do we have any proof of that? Well, we just saying for the record that this is in speculation. I did that. He wouldn't do that for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm frustrated with the brother. I'm angry with the brother. But I didn't want to come on here and display that kind of emotion. I didn't want to come on here and start labeling him a bunch of things. I want people to be able to discern from a professional broadcast that, you know what? These people are not soaking or their minds is not saturated with so much malice and melkor that they feel it suffice to reduce themselves to slander and backbiting. I don't want to be there. She doesn't want to be there. I gave her my word I'm not going there. Now, I am polite. I'm going to joke around from time to time as part of the entertainment aspect, but I don't want to be here just saying a bunch of things about this man. It's not really the focus on him. The focus is on the organization because the men are under a very incompetent man. And that is just through the teachings. That's a stab at the organizational structure. That's a stab at the organizational infrastructure. That's a stab at the fact that the women are actually suffering at a high toll in the community, and it is very transparent at this point. And when you're trying to hide something that's very transparent, it's clear that it needs to be fixed. Stop pretending like there's something going on in ISUPK that doesn't need to be fixed. This is bigger than TAZARYACH. This is about black men and their responsibilities to black women and their collective responsibility to their children and the leaders that intervene. I couldn't be any more guilty than General Yohana could be in the first place. I got the right to give a platform that their community didn't successfully provide. Let's keep it real. So we're going to go to another question as we're down to, let's see where we at. You do this. I'm sorry. So yeah, again, while she finds us another call, try to get a different area code to spread it out to give people an opportunity to contribute. The last one I think was 313. And shout out to the brothers and brother or sister that said, well, you always invited St. Louis. I appreciate that. Yeah, no doubt. So this is all love. This is not about Kemet on trial. This is not about the Bible on trial. If you listen to the dialogue, you're not getting it. So actually, we're just looking to get 5899. Okay, cool. We won't do that long thing this time around. We want to refrain from being rude. Please keep it on the subject. If you don't, we're just going to have to. We have a nigga be cool button. It's amazing. When we press it, it's a nigga be cool, and you out of here. That's how it works. Right. What's the numbers?
5899 is the last one.
5899. Are you out there?
Yes, sir.
Who's this? What's your name? Where you from?
How you doing, brother? This is Brother Mikara, Feet on the Ground Radio. I'm calling from Pomona, California.
Okay. How you doing? What's going on?
I'm doing fine. I just want to throw this out here, a quick African proverb I want you to elaborate on. Home affairs are not talked about on the public square.
Okay. I think what you're insinuating is that this platform was inappropriate for today because it's an African proverb that contradicts what's presently transpiring. Correct? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, and what's the difference between the tactics 50 Cent used on Rick Ross and what you're doing now?
Oh, mine is just a little more tasteful, and I haven't taken pictures with nobody's family yet. So I think that would be the difference. Now, what I would like to say is this. What are the tactics that's been used for the last 4 out of 6 days this week that people from ISUPK continuously kept calling my wives that they never spoke to a day in their life out their face? I don't see the protest signs when these guys do it. You know what I see? Yay, they're getting that polite. Yeah, you see, you a punk. Yeah. Meanwhile, this brother has his teacher calling his wife a hoe. And he's just sitting there like he doesn't realize, yo, bro, your teacher's calling your wife a hoe. But nonetheless, the point of the matter is this. This transcends any grievance I really have. You know why? I have my grievances now. Am I getting a little fun out of this? I'm getting a whole lot of fun out of this. I'd be lying if I didn't. Now, let's keep it real. I never had a problem ever keeping it real. Now, let's really talk. This is a woman who's been saying it's been going on for over a year and change. How come nobody's calling in and saying, God damn? How come nobody's responding to the fact that it is on record? She has the recordation. She went down to the temple, even asked them for $40. She asked him for $40. She's been cursed out for this. The children not allowed in the temple. I mean, the mother's not allowed into the temple. Like, listen to the things that's going on, man. And after all of that, the focus is still on Brother Polight. Not even Brother Jenna Yohana, who's over here co-signing that his member's wife is a hoe, and we're going to identify as a liar before she even opens up her mouth.
How can he go on their show that they did an hour prior to ours?
Very good question.
And protest what they're doing?
That's a good question. So our hostess has a question for you. Did you go on their show when they profess that TAZARYACH's General Yana and TAZARYACH professed that TAZARYACH's wife is a whore, a lying whore? That's the title. Did you call in, my brother, and tell them the African proverb that you're telling me, or it's because they're anti-African that you ain't feel that's a place? Did you call them, my brother?
What I would say is this, Brother Polight, and you know,
I mean, you can answer it. Hold on, real quick. We're gonna let you speak because it's not like that. We don't want to do the disrespectful thing. We want you to answer the question, and then we're gonna give you a way to say whatever you have to say, my brother, uninterrupted. Unless it's disrespectful, then we'll just ask you be respectful, and then we'll let you talk again.
Thank you. Now, I don't want to be pressured into answering that because it comes off as being self-serving, which means it's a one-word answer and it's going to serve yours. What I'm saying is, I thought what I'm assuming is that you thought you had a
nigga be cool. Nigga be cool. All right, let's get to the next caller. I hope you don't want to kill me after that. You don't want to answer the question. We give you the rules of engagement on the show. Yo, rules of engagement is I will honor your question. He said, is it like Rick Ross? Kind of, sort of, but not like. I give it to you. I'm not taking pictures with people's children and all that. I ain't did that, so it's not like Rick Ross. Like, come on, this is insane. Like, everyone's ignoring. It's like, the problem with this is, I get all these texts, nigga, be cool. They love that. See, and this is why we gotta laugh it off. No one's calling. Why can't the brother just say, you know what, despite the fact, this means, one, what we can infer is he was aware of the show. Because he could have simply said, I didn't even know the show was taking place. So, one, you was aware of the show title, and then, two, you didn't call them about no damn African proverb or give them another proverb where they shouldn't call another man's wife out of their name, especially if you are the leader that's supposed that this man seeks counsel. You see, now this is a very, very big double standard going on. It's all Polight is doing all this wickedness. That's what this is. Never mind the woman, never mind the children, never mind the fact she's been trying to reconcile this problem within her community as a Hebrew Israelite woman, and then she went beyond her Hebrew Israelite community but stayed within the context of the culture. Hold on, she stayed within the context of the culture and then beseeched Brother Nasi and his family. She tried what she can. This is all on record. She tried. And then when that didn't work out, now she found another platform with somebody that she felt she could either trust or respect because of their cultural paradigm or what she sees being reflected for the most part. Like, listen, what is a woman supposed to do? Suffer in silence? Come on, man. Go ahead, right? You want to talk? Go ahead.
I'm saying is she followed the cultural dictates that tells you if you have an issue with your man or an issue with someone in your household, you try to take it out with them. You speak to them first, and this is something that we follow in our household. If you have an issue with a person, you keep it between you and that person. If you need to have a family meeting where it's a controlled environment, then you can do that as well. But at the point where you are not being heard at all by people in your household, and then you try to stay within your community and go to a different Hebrew Israelite sect, and you're still not being heard, and everywhere you turn, the doors is being closed on you, and you're not being heard, at that point, yes, you should go outside of the community, and you should seek refuge. Why? Because your children their lives are at stake. What are you going to do? Suffer, and she's supposed to suffer in silence to adhere to what the men are telling her to do? She's supposed to just stay and suffer in silence and look at her children and know that they're suffering and do nothing about it? I don't agree with that. And I also don't agree with the fact that people come on our show telling us how we're supposed to conduct ourselves. For a long time, we cater to people's emotions. We cater to what they have to say, and we cater to their perspective of how we should conduct ourselves. And I feel that it suffices for us to provide a platform for this sister, because if she's suffering, it is also our duty I'm supposed to be my sister's keeper, so it's our duty to make sure that this is not happening. At the end of the day, it's like Polight said, it's beyond a Hebrew Israelite and Kemetic issue. This is a black female who has children that are suffering in the black community. So it is up to us to do something about that.
And I want to say, on piggybacking off of what you said, I want to also say nobody's calling in saying, wow, he really did that to that woman when she asked for $10. And we have the recording. We have it all recorded that this took place, this incident with this first wife. We have all of the text messages.
That's right.
And nobody is saying anything about women being beaten, children being hurt. Nobody's saying about families being abandoned. It's just, the male ego, I guess, to say where a woman, what's in the household should be left in the household. So that woman was right for getting chastised and beat for $10.
That's insane. I mean, come on. Somebody out there got sense. Don't. I mean, as much as I like the nigga be cool button, please, somebody, let's get this together. Okay. Let's make sure we good on this. Let's do this. Let me see this. We're gonna let another person in. We had 1 minute and 20 seconds left. Let's go 951. Let's see what they have to say. Nigga be cool. How you doing? What's that number? Shalom?
Shalom, brother. How are you?
We are filled with you brothers, man. How you doing, my brother? Shalom.
Okay. I'm doing great. This is Michael Edwards, Polight. And
shit. We might have to nigga be cool you ASAP. Hold on. This is Michael Edwards. I got my hand on the button. What's up?
That's all right, bro. I'm not going to cut you off.
I'm just messing with you. Come on, brother. Let's go. What's up?
Okay. Quick questions. I want you to address your Prince Hall affiliation. Number 2, I would like for you to answer, if I did this to your wife, because I know you got some bad issues too. You're a man. What would you do? And then number 3.
Let me deal with that question first, brother.
All right, go ahead.
You got 3 questions. The Prince Hall issues, I've never been a Prince Hall Freemason. And what I would also like to say to that is that has nothing to do with this conversation. It's very
I don't want to say disrespectful. That may not be your intent, but it appears to be very undermining at the very least. I'm not going to say your intention is to be disrespectful. So what I would say for this, just for the sake of having no argument, let's omit that. I answered, I'm not no Prince Hall Mason. I've never been a Prince Hall Mason a day in my life. Boom. Let's stop that. So, okay, you can say that, but a Prince Hall's Mason's regalia would say Prince Hall on it. So read what you think you're seeing. Hey, now I'm done with that. Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. I want to answer your other questions. I don't want to cut you off. I want to answer your questions. I'm working with you, but you please, this is not a time to talk about masonry, bro. Come on, brother. Let's be respectful.
We're talking about being stand up. And if you denigrated Rabbi Ford,
I would like to answer the rest of your question. I would like to answer the rest.
Rabbi Ford. You remember?
I would like to answer the rest of your. Okay, you know what?
Go ahead. Do the other question.
All right, hold on. He just saved it right on time. All right, cool. So the other question was, because, we got to keep it low, King. I don't want to, just because it's my radio, I'm going to cut you off and you don't talk. I ain't that type of person. I know, but it ain't like that with me. I want to actually answer these questions. So if
I did it to your wife, because I know you have some bad shit in your past.
Yo, listen. First of all, let's
one of your own women's.
Okay, let's do it like this. Okay, good. Let's do this.
And also,
hold on, one at a time. Calm down.
Why don't you
one at a time, brother? One at a time, brother.
Can you take your hat off?
One at a time.
And be honest with us?
Yes. I don't know that. I mean, sometimes hats or condoms. I don't know what brother. You sounded a little funny. You want me taking some of my clothes? You want me to take my clothes off? You want me to start taking clothes off? Like, come on, bro. Listen. You know what? There we go. Guess what you want? A pre-order. Here we go. Nigga be cool. Now you see what the Israelites are actually doing? Hold on. What the Israelites are actually doing is showing the low regard they have for their own women.
Yeah, women. Exactly.
Oh, what if I did this? Now let me answer this question anyway. What if I did this to you? Did what? Hold on. You mean constantly call my family ho, 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 ho? And then someone starts saying, okay, I understand. It's war. So, now there's rules to war. Like, where were the rules when these guys was cursing my family out? Women that they don't know. They could have just dealt with me. But they just kept identifying with my wives on purpose to disrespect me with the intention for me to throw my life away by having someone hurt, and then my wives would be out here on these streets with no one taking care of them because I stupidly would have threw my life away listening to them try to insult me. Okay, so let's really talk. If someone did this to me, then I would fucking deserve it if I'm whipping my wife's ass. What the fuck you mean, man? Pardon my vulgarity, sister, but if I'm whipping my wife's ass, and it's proof, if I'm cursing my women out, if I'm keeping them impoverished, if I'm cutting my children off from that which I say is a forum for divinity and spiritual advancement and culture, then I deserve everything and more that just transpired today. And we were very nice, because if you listen to those brothers' radio show, they weren't very nice. We were very respectful. Okay, so listen, what if someone did this to me? I don't understand the essence of the question because, again, did what? You're over there whipping women. You're over there cutting your children off because they were born with some form of impairment. You're over there getting more relationships than you can afford, knowing that your children are in need. You're over here. When is someone going to call in and say, yo, how come your Hana gets to call his wife a hoe? And Polight never called his wife a hoe. Even after all the hoe talks, I haven't called one of his wives a hoe or any derogatory name. Here they have a problem with me. When a man, after this 2-hour plus show, calls in and wants to ask you about Freemasonry, you can tell he's pretty slow. And then he wants me to take one of my clothes off. A portion of my clothes off he wants off. And he wants to talk to me about Freemasonry. You can tell that something is going horribly wrong in that community. Horribly wrong. And I invited him into that, something that had potential for a conversation or dialogue, despite the fact that brothers always disrespecting me. Another Israelite that's constantly disrespecting me on social media. Constantly. But I still, hey, bro,
My hand's on the button. You see that? I still give him the respect. But he got all this. Yeah, I bet you he feels real good. I told him take off his hat. Yeah, nigga, and I got 5 wives, and you have what? And I ain't got nobody talking no shit on me about me not giving them $10. Ain't none of my wives ever gonna fucking catch me out there. I'll close shop and I'll break up with my wife ASAP before I find myself in a position where I can't give one $10 fucking. So let's cut the crap. Let's cut it. I'm a young man, and I've managed to maintain this family business pretty darn good. And as y'all are going to pray on my downfall every day from this point forward, because I know that, you're going to pray on my downfall every day. You can have that. Because it's my responsibility as a man to have tough skin, let you people try to come out your face and disrespect my family. I don't mind. Because where I live in Beverly Hills, niggas don't thrive. So I'll never see you again. I'm working very hard to make sure I'll never see you again. The closest I get to you Negroes is when I have to come in to teach class. And after that, I get to leave you all over again. I don't live nowhere where people wear plastic spikes and fucking doorknobs on their chest and don't pay or give recompense to the very people that supporting them, paying for their fucking gym bills and all of that. I'm a grown fucking man. You should be roasting TAZARYACH. We're trying to keep up a powerful show. I should have to tell y'all when y'all call in, yo, cut it out. That was a good one, though, but cut it out. But masonry is what you want to talk about. Freemasonry. Come on, man. Call us. Let's raise the frequency. Let's get it in.
Let them know they will be cut off.
It's going to take place a lot quicker. Come on. And now you're going to make me start hand-selecting Kemetic people. Because I'm like, Israelites, come on, bro. Like, show love, man. You don't got to cover up for ISUPK. They wrong. Anybody that's an Israelite right now, if you call in, I'm going to give you love no matter what. You stop trying to take this as a whole loss for the whole Israel. Yo, when you do that, the whole Israel loses. ISUPK said if you're not part of them, they hate you. So why the hell are you even trying to defend these crazy people, man? If they are doing the wrong thing, call in as an Israelite and suggest something positive. Make him polite the whole reason it's happened. Very weird. I'm not the beginning and the end of everything that goes wrong in the Israelite community. Cut it out. If you really are an Israelite and you feel you practice Israel's truth better than ISUPK, then call this fucking line and give some damn progressive advice and stop making me your God. Stop saying I did this to her woman. What if someone does this to your woman? Cut that shit out. She has her own mind. She made her own decision to do what she did. I made my own decision to do what I'm doing. Call in and give her some advice to make her have confidence in your damn doctrine. Because right now, you looking real shaky out there, Israel. Y'all ain't giving us no instruction. Come on. Yeah, give us the impression that the Israelite men give a damn. Come on, try to find another Israelite. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it.
All right. About 214 area code was 8.7.
Get the ones with the 7s because.
8.7. Okay. So the last week.
Yeah, get.
399. Sorry, 9339.
Let's try it. But nigga be cool is going to be very fast this time. I'm telling you. Who's this?
Can I be heard?
Yes, sir. We here.
What's going on, Polight? Shalom. This your Hoshua. Yeah.
Man, hold on. What? I guessed it, or this line just only got Hebrews. What's your name, brother, and where you from?
This your Hoshua. I'm from North Carolina.
Okay, peace, King.
Peace, peace. Yeah, just to speak on this, man, it's a very unfortunate thing with the sister. And just to let her know, all Israelites aren't abusive. All Israelite men don't treat their women wrong. You have very, respectful Israelite men when it comes to families. So just because you deal with one man or one situation, don't think that that covers all of Israel, because you have a lot of damn good men who care about their women and their children. And as for the pedophilia, I'm going to say this. If we find out who these pedophiles are, and if they are in our midst, we're going to deal with it, as the Bible prescribes. Now, we don't play that. We will deal with that. Now,
hey, what's your name and what's the name of your group so we can let the people know we found the same group with a sane man.
Yo, my name is Yehoshua Ben Yehuda, and I'm not with any grouper. I'm just Israel. I affiliate with all my brothers and sisters, but I'm Israel. You know, so that's me. But just to let you know, and one of the sisters that called in, she knows me herself. Hannah?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Hannah, if you're still on the phone, this is Yehoshua. You know me, right?
I'm still here.
Yeah, you remember me?
You.
Okay.
I do. You sound kind of different over the phone, but yeah, I remember you.
Okay. So I know that sister right there, so I'm not going to speak on that situation, but I am going to say, as far as the families of Israel is concerned, we don't teach abuse. Now, these other groups, I don't know what they got going on, but as far as for righteousness' sake, you're not supposed to be getting abused in these relationships. That's not what our way of life is about. Our way of life is not to degrade our women. Our way of life is about finding balance in the relationships. Anything other than that is not Torah.
I dig it, brother. We appreciate you.
All right?
Yes, sir. We appreciate your input. Thank you for contributing in a positive way on behalf of Israel. We're not being biased here, because I could have nigga be cool. Oh, my God, he's making Israel look good. Be cool. I could have got you out of here, but we ain't doing that. It's love, fam. So I appreciate you. Yeah, so hey, like we gotta have to wrap this up quick. He's doing good.
I appreciate that.
No doubt. So I thank you so much, brother, because it's really not about trashing Israel. We got scumbags in every culture, right? But if we don't start policing ourselves, there'll be more in some cultures than others.
Yeah.
All right.
We have to clean our house. Whether you Kemetic, Israelite, more, I don't give a damn. There has to be house cleaning done because there's dirtbags in each culture. So we have to clean house on all levels. And with that, I'm out.
I agree. So now let's just see if we can get 2 more people there. You just lightened the spirit. You made the spirit a whole lot more positive, brother. So whatever you doing by yourself, maybe you should organize because the groups are losing their mind. All right, let's get the next one. He gets a brother be cool. Okay. We're going to be on that trigger finger, though. I'm not going to be as patient these next ones. 24, 25.
Peace. This is Brother Oh God in the Black Radio. What it do?
Oh, shit. Keep your finger on there. Hold on. We going to let him talk. No, let him talk. Let him talk.
Okay.
Let him talk. But let's hold on. We got to prepare everybody. Hold on. We just got to prepare the nigga be cool pushes. So hold on. I know he was wilding in the chat, but listen, brother, just keep it respectful and let's respect this sister. Let's respect the situation and the conversation. And yo, you got the mic because I'm not going to try to disrespect you. Go ahead, brother.
Live in the Black Radio. Now we did a show called Brother Polight, Agent Provocateur, or Black Liberator. Now, on that show that we did, we had a lot of people calling in, indicting.
Nigga be cool. We're going to sit here and talk about like, yo, are they slow?
He posted his link to that show in our chat room.
Don't worry about it. Nigga be cool. I'm going to make sure there's an echo and that shit sound like it's coming out of the cave next show. Nigga be cool. That shit going to be hot. All right, let's get another person. Hey, just make another show. Come on. 5620. Are you out there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what's your name? Where you from?
Please, this is Lex Vortex. I'm calling from Georgia.
Lex Vortex. All right, let's get it. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. I don't know. I did a video called I'm Jealous of You, Polight, because you're too good and I'm too down. I don't know if you've seen it, but the reason why I did that video is because I seen this coming. And I want to say I see why you do. I've been watching you for a while, and, you're dynamic, you know what I'm saying? So there's been a lot of hate towards you with the going back and forth and all of that. And I've seen extreme disrespect towards you, and I see extreme jealousy and envy. So I understand that your hand was kind of forced, but I wish I could have spoke to you.
No doubt.
Before you did it. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
Not because of exactly what you did. It's because I come out of the Hebrew Israelite community, and So I teach the Bible metaphysically and stuff. So I go through the same thing with them. You're dealing with religious fanatics, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, in an organization that's a haven for gangbangers. So I'm a little concerned, honestly. You know what I'm saying? In terms of, I'm just thinking, well, how's the sister gonna live now? You know what I'm saying? I mean, is she close to them guys? Is their address? And then I just wish you wouldn't have done it. I wish you wouldn't have done it, or because it's just, I can't blame you for doing it, but I wish you wouldn't have done it. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that you're really actually above this. You know what I'm saying? I don't agree with everything you say either, and this and that, but I know you're not the average cat. So, you know, just like in the hood, if even the drug dealers, they got a new car, man, you know, there's people around that don't want to see that. There's people who want to see you hurt. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think this was the wisest move, bro. But, you know, I know where you're coming from. Both of y'all are going to some degree on this, though. But I wish I could have spoke to you. I would have said, don't do it. I would have told you, polite, don't do that. Not because it wasn't right to do, or maybe just in another manner. You know what I'm saying? But, yo, peace to you. I wish you the best. Take these cats serious, man. These are jihadists out here. You know what I'm saying? So,
I dig it. You know what? And what we got to do, we got to start creating that jihad energy to protect our women and children. So let's get it on, and let's get the next caller. But I appreciate the love and the sentiment from my brother. You know, after you got love, you already know. But keep in mind, family, like when do we actually start getting more aggressive when it comes to our women being violated and disrespected? When do we do that? You know what I'm saying? Like eventually men gonna have to start possibly getting into it with men if the women are not going to be respected. These are our mothers, these are our wives, these are our daughters, these are our nieces, these are our aunts. We're going to have to start showing some kind of assertion that's contrapositive to the way that they've been treated. So let's go. We'll take one more call. Just pick one randomly. Come on, can we get a whole chat? God damn.
I'm saying
Black Power, let's see.
9187.
You know, bienvenido, like konnichiwa, anything. What's that?
9187.
9187, are you in the building? Let's not go to NBC. Nigga, be cool. Say the numbers again.
Last 4 digits is 9187.
The last 4 digits is 9187. Okay. Probably be cool themselves, like, yo, I know I'm an asshole. 3745. 3745.
Hello, what's going on with you?
What's up? Who's this? Where you from?
My name Yanea Ben Lewy. I'm from Atlanta.
What's your name?
My name Yanea Ben Lewy. I'm from Atlanta.
Try to slip it in there. Go ahead. What's up, brother? Shalom.
Hotel Polite. Hey, I got 2 questions to ask, right? First of all,
yes, sir.
I understand certain things because as my role amongst the Hebrew community, I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? I'm the one to take care of the outside workers of the temples, right? So I got a question to ask the sister Hannah. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay, ask this Hannah.
Okay,
Hannah, you still there?
I'm still here.
Come on, my brother. Okay, I just wanted to make sure she's still here. Go ahead, my brother.
First of all, I'm gonna say how you doing, Hannah, because I am respectful toward our sisters. You understand what I'm saying? I got 4 beautiful daughters myself. And third of all, no community, regardless of what, can function without a council of women. Period. So I'm gonna say that I understand what you're saying, Hannah, but a lot of times because we don't know how things go, because we're always quiet and we don't say anything. So when you used to sit around the top, because I'm the one she was addressing earlier, Polight. I'm the one that says who leaves and who goes. All right. So when you was brought to Shumray, when you was allowed to come to Shumray, I'm the one that was paying the bills. I'm the one that was making sure you had a shower. I'm the one that was making sure that at least anything that was said to me and not to you. Okay? And I understand exactly what you mean because you didn't get the blunt of it, I did. You understand what I'm saying? So I can understand that. A lot of times the communities function the way they function because people don't support, there's no communication between the people. You understand what I'm saying? So I understand where you're coming from. But at the same token, I felt like you should have spoke more, Hannah, when you was always sitting quiet. You never said anything to anybody at all.
So when it comes time for you to take showers and stuff like, that, Hannah, I was the one that was going out trying to find you somewhere to take a shower.
Hold on. Can I speak, please? Can I speak on that? Because
let me finish speaking first, okay? I understand.
Okay, let's give the brother 2 more minutes if you don't mind, and then we're going to extend it to the sister. Is that okay, brother?
That's perfectly fine. What I'm saying is, what I'm saying is, I have nothing negative to say, but like I said, because I'm pro us, all of us, all melanated community. So as my job, and when it comes down to different Israelite communities, no community will want you to stay there on a Shabbat day, and it's that time of the month, because that's just against our standards. You understand what I'm saying? So I can understand that. But at the same time, you was always quiet, Adam. You never said anything. So now you're attacking a system to where you're making it seem like that everybody was wrong. So to me, direct that toward me, because I'm the one that told you have to leave. You understand what I'm saying? So, but make no mistake, I am the same person. And if you know me, like I said, you sit around, you never said anything to me. So you can say what you want to say. I'm listening.
Well, I'll say this. The guy who I was involved with, I mean, you pretty much didn't want me there. You talked behind my back. I mean, you had spread false, rumors about me. You did not want me there because I was on my menstruation. And the reason why I couldn't really talk, because I felt like I really had no one I could really confide in other than the so-called sister who was helping me. So she was the one who was really doing the most work as far as making sure that I was getting, that my personal hygiene was taken care of. So I'm not going to take the credit from her, because it seemed like you're trying to take all the credit, which you really haven't, because all you're doing is just trying to make yourself look good on national radio. And I know that, that's not who you really are. Because one minute there's a time that you didn't want me to have a key to the door to that temple. You didn't want me inside that temple. And I felt like a damn reject. I felt like I wasn't even wanted there. And the guy your so-called friend who I was involved with, he listened to you. You were like his confidant. And to him, you never did anything wrong. So it was me as the underdog and the only woman who was living amongst men who called themselves my brothers. And it really hurt the hell out of me, because, I could have spoke up more, but then again, my back was against the wall, because I was living in this temple. I thought that I'm supposed to be in a place where people are supposed to come to each other and confide in each other, but I didn't have that, because people were talking behind my back. I didn't really know who to trust at the time. And the sister the person who was really helping me out with showers, if she's listening to the show, she was the one that was making sure that I was getting showers and things like that. Sometimes when she couldn't really help me out, I took bird baths in the damn sink. Where there was there was water, but there was no hot running water in that place. There's no showers. There's a bathroom, yeah. But me being on my menstruation, you guys knew, as that me being a woman, that I was going to be on my menstruation. I wasn't being dishonest, because I could have easily lied and said that I was not on my period when I was. So and yes, she helped me out when I was on my menstruation. She let me stay at her place over the weekend. And then there were times I had to stay at that temple, because sometimes she wanted to spend valuable time with her husband. I couldn't go against that. And yeah, I just felt like the stuff that was being told to me and how you reacted to me. Even one time I called your phone, I think you blocked my phone, because the phone it just like the call, it clicked off. I'm thinking, okay, did he block my numbers? Because I could tell that you didn't want me there, you didn't want me there at all. I couldn't even come to IC, because I'm like, damn, people are talking about me. I can't really trust anybody. And yes, I've been cordial with one of his wives and everything. I have no beef with y'all, but I'm like, this stuff needs to be addressed, because a lot of women are afraid to speak up. And I've been thinking about this for a long time. I said it was time for me to tell my story and encourage other sisters who kind of been through a similar situation or a worse situation than what I've been through to speak up. I'm not trying to turn anybody against whatever they believe in, but this whole, I think I'm better than you. You think you're better than me. This shit is ridiculous. And that's how I was feeling, because I'm giving my.
So with that said, hold on, my brother. With that said, we have to close out. I know. She just said something, and you feel the necessity to respond, and rightfully so, because you have your credibility on the line, and so does she. But we did keep it equal. You spoke, she spoke, and I just want to close out, because since y'all know each other, if need be, y'all can communicate with each other and follow up. I want to extend you.
That's what I want to say. Let me give her my number, Polight. Let me give her my number.
No problem, brother. You know what?
My number is 203. My number is 203-628-3745. It don't matter. I you know what I'm saying? And my reputation is not on the line. You understand what I'm saying? So, like I said, I stand firm on something else for life. So it's but you could have came to me, Hannah. I'm just letting you know that you could have came to me, just like how you
I
just did.
couldn't come to you. I couldn't come
Because
to you. I had
always
put
quiet.
forth to be on this radio show. I couldn't because you're going to make it out to something that wasn't. You gave me a reason to be quiet. I couldn't trust you.
You never said anything.
Well, you're not in my shoes,
my job
though.
Is security, Hannah. Hannah, my job is
But you're not in my
security,
shoes, though. You're not in my shoes, so you never understand.
So now watch this.
You don't get mental experience, Shanae, so how would you know?
Okay, so let's do it like this. Let's do it like this. You can always follow up.
Yes.
And, you know, I got people begging for us to stay on, you know, or telling me going to overtime, but it's like double overtime. It is late. But, brother, I respect you for calling in and being respectful, you know, so I just want to say that as well, that despite what has been said, as a man, you stated your claim and you did it to me, in my opinion, in a respectful manner. So that in itself warrants our respect to you. So I thank you for calling in, defending yourself in a way that shows integrity, you know, on behalf of Israel as well. So I thank you, my brother. And I want to make it clear to everyone out there, I don't got this beef with the Israelites that people talk about. I really don't. I'm against certain things, and I'm very vocal about it. And sometimes, because of my strong will and personality, it can either be overwhelming or perceived that I hate all of Israel. Nah, I don't. I just have things I don't like, and I home in on it so much so that the way I may speak about those particular things may not just encapsulate that thing in itself, but may give people impressions that I feel this way about the people. I love my people first. I'm people first. I'm race first. So there's no way anything I feel that's doctrinal or indifferent to doctrines that I either subscribe to or y'all subscribe to is going to impel me to sever the bond of brotherhood unless you should choose to be that way. So again, for the record, I love Israel. I love the brothers and sisters of that community. I just don't like certain things, and when given the opportunity to speak or expound on it, I go hard. Am I excessive sometimes when I'm going in? I will admit that. From time to time, I might shoot a book or something, and maybe that's out of line. You know, I'll take that. I'll accept that that's not normal or consistent behavior with people who normally disagree with things. But I really don't be meaning no harm, man. I don't be meaning like that. Sometimes I just wonder how people really would react to things that I think really shouldn't demand as much attention. And if I see people put too much attention into certain things, then it tells me that you're not as spiritually insightful as you may profess to be, because a Hotel Gideon's Bible with no Hebrew or Greek translations is almost equal to a damn slave Bible. So, but I'm a scientist, but that's my worldview, and I understand. I gotta calm down sometimes. I understand that. I can be told that. So, but I always want people to know I love my people. I'm people first. I appreciate them. Even the knucklehead that called in talking about Prince Hall, whatever that meant. You know, it don't matter if I say, look, read the regalia, read it. You won't see the word Prince Hall on it. So what's this then? I'm like, the problem is you don't even know about Masonry. So everything is Prince Hall to you because you see a black person, and then you see Masonic regalia, and the only thing you can conceive if it's black and it's Masonic is that it's Prince Hall. That's part of the ignorance. It's like you go to your family right now and you start dropping knowledge. You know what they'll say to you? Yo, you Muslim? Like Muslims cornered the market on being conscious. But a lot of people, that's the only reference point because they watch Malcolm X. So they'll think if you're smart and you're reading books and you're self-motivated and self-educated, most of our family members that's not part of our communities would assume that we're Muslim. We'll take offense and say, why the fuck do I got to be Muslim to be smart and black? But that's part of the miseducation and that's part of the ignorance. So with that being said, I want our sisters, to close out on the final 2-minute note, and we're gonna be cool ourselves. So it's gonna be brothers and sisters be cool. So you sisters, I would like y'all to just close out and share some sentiments. Keep it positive. We're gonna be positive when we get out of here. No matter what anybody says, you guys, you sisters know what's in your heart. No matter what anybody says, you know what's in your heart. You know what your intentions were. We didn't sit here and conspire and say, yeah, this should destroy all the Israelites. Because believe me, if it was that way,
I would have been very insensitive to every Israelite that called, which was everybody that called damn near. So any one of you sisters want to close out? I'm here. We listen.
I would just
I like to say,
go ahead, I'm sorry. I would just like to say we need to be more aware. I'm surprised that as many women and young women as we have in the community and the Israelite community, that we would allow this type of behavior and that we would actually not even question it, that we're questioning the people that have legitimate, I mean, this was going on with me for over a year, and everyone knew about it. So this is not something that just came up and I went to Polight, but I would just caution anyone, remember, you may have a daughter, you may have a sister, you better think about how you think about this situation, and for them to make a video to say the lying whore, like, that is very, very telling on what actually these young women are going to be faced with in that community if they ever speak out or if they ever are themselves abused, abandoned, or any of the things that me and those other wives have gone through. Now, whatever they gathered them up to say on those videos, Polight has the audio. So that will outshine any. We got to come together at last minute to make it look like for Israel's sake at the last minute. The evidence speaks for itself, and that's a lie. We have to deal with facts.
Facts. Definitely crush it. Hannah, you got something to say to close out?
Yeah, I like to say to all the sisters out there, I mean, just, stay encouraged. I mean, don't be afraid to question things, because even children question things. So as an adult, you shouldn't be afraid to question anything. If you want to ever reach out to me, I can be reached at on Facebook at Hannah, author Hannah, HANNAH, Bobana, B as in boy, O, B as in boy, A, NNA. And as far as TAZARYACH's wife, I would love to, keep in contact with you as well, sister, because we definitely need to uplift each other, especially coming out of that type of quote-unquote culture. So for all the women out there, if you're questioning it, don't be afraid to question it. Again, I'm not against men. I'm against misogyny. I'm not a feminist. I'm just against the mistreatment of women and, of course, men. So I believe in balance, and just for everybody, just, who's ever experienced that, just stay encouraged. And, we're here to help you in any kind of way that we can. So I thank you for having me on the show as well, Polight. And shout out to Saneter as well.
You already know. Shout out to God Killer. We appreciate him. He showed a lot of love and support in different parts of the process. I don't want to be specific because I don't want to incriminate him. Somehow he wants to become part of a conspiracy to destroy Israel, because he has other things he has to do. He has a family that he's responsible for. So I just thank the brother for being supportive, and he, as my senior, also made sure that my head is on my shoulders, providing that I do this. So I'm not here cussing up a storm and making threats, and because that wouldn't be me. That's not what I'm supposed to do. So again, to the viewership out there, take these sisters very serious. If you wanted them, connect. I ain't say connect with me. I said connect with the sisters. You always got a platform here to be heard. The sisters are always going to have a platform to be heard. I teach a black woman is God. I'm not going against that. And again, I don't mean it in an idle sense. I'm not spooked out. It's just a mnemonic device that stresses the expedience of us respecting, honoring, and venerating our women for all the right reasons, from infancy to inception, actually, to conception to birth. That's how we want to do it. From inception to conception to birth, we have every responsibility and obligation to adhere to the divine feminine principle for what it means and represents in retrospect to who we are and who we was. So with that, I thank everybody for listening. We say Eluvu in our language, Nduasusu, which means living language. We say Eluvu, which means perpetual success. Thank you so much. Peace.
Peace. Peace.
Peace.
So when I was coming up the stairs, Saneter, guys, my witness, he said, Yo, when you go upstairs to Shaka's apartment, you might see a homo come out the room. The Most High is my witness. That day, check this out. That day, I called Saneter. I said, yo, Saneter, straight up, Saneter. Yo, what you told me on when we was coming out? Yo, I gotta go. I gotta talk to you later. I'll talk to you later. I've been calling him. I called Shaka. Left the message. Hey, yo, Shaka, Saneter told me that you are homosexual. What's up with that? Call me back, yo. We gotta talk about this. I haven't heard nothing from that brother yet.